welcome back everyone, welcome back to another week, another edition of the ESL Open Cup Asia number 201. It's been so many, 201 editions already here, and we have our lovely players raring and ready to go. I'm of course host Live VIP, and with me I'm joined by the lovely people in the chat, by these amazing players as well, !B in the chat if you guys wish to have a look at the bracket yourselves, because we have a stacked bracket, a lot of matches going on, and we have our first series of the night. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkyone, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Club NV. It is Creator. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss, the blue Protoss representing Maturino Esports. It is Nightmare. Here we go. And this is a matchup that I have been waiting for. Oh no, I haven't. That I've been waiting for quite some time here, as opposed to pass each other. Creator and Nightmare. Fun fact: I don't know what it is about the seeding. Obviously, they're some of the best Protoss in all of South Korea. They're top 4 alongside Hero and Classic. And they just keep facing, whether it's in KSLs or ESL Open Cup Asias. I don't know what it is about these two, but they just face off week after week after week, whether it's around the 16 or even the quarterfinals as well. It is, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy that they just face off so often, almost becoming their own version of Hero and Dark, where Hero and Dark, they just also face off every single week. Likewise, I can say the same about Creator and Nightmare as well. When it comes to the bracket itself, we can talk about that and discuss the bracket after the series, of course. For now, we have our PvP, and so far, we have a gate expand from Nightmare, we have a 2-gate opener here from Creator, and this does kind of track on here. We have been casting quite a lot of Nightmare in his PvPs and his escapades, and recently we casted him against Hero as well in another PvP. It was last week, ESL Open Cup Asia 200, and we saw a lot of this. It's been really interesting to see. Both Nightmare and Hero have started adopting the Max Pack style of PvP. If you're wondering what that is, every other player, it is of course standard and is written by the prophet that are Protoss, that you go for 2-gate openers on maps which don't have a ramp leading into the natural. You know, it is typically unsafe to go for more economic openers. So we have a 2-gateway here from Creator, but Nightmare, Hero as well, they have been really embracing this gate expand style instead, a style that Max Packs has been doing for many years, and a style that is now, yeah, popping up more often here. Of course, we do see Nightmare did go for a double gas first, so we have a Stargate follow-up after the Cybercore, then we get into the expansion, so a much more economic opener here out of Nightmare. Creator is going to be falling behind slightly economically, but he is going to make up for it. There we go, not too far behind with this base. And bearing in mind that because of this Stargate as well, Nightmare, he doesn't just have a faster base, but he also has potential to deal economic damage to get himself even further ahead. Meanwhile, the first Stalker has arrived, second Stalker as well. This is the downside here, as a Creator with the 2-gate opener does have excess production and is applying quite a lot of pressure. This Zealot may go down. Shield battery still not quite done yet, but here come the reinforcements. We get extra hits in, and Creator, he's going to be, oh my god, almost losing that first Stalker. Oh no! Stalker is going to be going down. We do have some reinforcements coming in as well. The Oracle comes in to help support as well, and it looks like we will fend this off. One Stalker barely does survive for Creator, but maybe I spoke too soon, because we get two. We get 2 Stalkers in total. Oracle has been spotted racing across the map. Creator racing him back home as well. There's not too much energy left, because we of course did just activate the Pulsar Beam, but we need extra weapons back at home. Shield battery is still on the way, and Nightmare is making a beeline for that main base. Is going to be stopping for a little bit here. We have a Void Ray follow-up. Void Rays, they're very niche in PvP. They're ideal defensively, so it's just a way to secure ourselves as scouts to make sure that we're safe and sound. As we have our follow-up tech, Twilight Council on the way for Nightmare. We have Blink on the way for Creator. As we get rid of this up, thank you so much, Dally Cat May. Thank you so much. Yeah, we appreciate the support for so long. Dally, of course, one of the OGs, a CranKy Duckling herself. Thank you so much, Dally. How many months is that? 66, almost 69. Nice. 66 months of support. That's a lot of months. That's a lot of years. Thank you. Dally, of course, here from almost the beginning of the inception of the CranKy Ducklings. Meanwhile, the Oracle is going to be dipping in towards the natural base. 3 workers do go down. Pretty good damage here as Nightmare does back off. Creator just trying to sustain himself here, falling behind in the economy, but ahead when it comes to Blink. You know, this is the one advantage. The big advantage of Creator out of these openers is that Blink is going to finish up a little bit faster. There's going to be a power spike here, and Creator is pushing across the map. Meanwhile, back at home, Nightmare has a third base on the way. Can we protect it though? We have a pylon in production, soon to be a shield battery. We have an overcharge available if we fall back to the natural base, but Creator, he has arrived. Here we go. Stalker's pushing on forward here again. Creator, he does have the Stalker advantage. Takes down 1 Stalker already. Oh my god, almost one-shotting at this point. And Creator, he's snowballing out of control. The Oracle doing what they can and soaks a couple of hits. We pull back to the shield battery. Shield battery still not done. Void Ray goes down. Really unfortunate pathing there for the Void Ray to be so exposed coming from the right-hand side. Shield battery is going to be cancelled. And again, we're barely holding on. Look at the units tab. But Creator, he is up 3 Stalkers. He's applying a lot of pressure to this third base now. We, of course, have a little bit of time to have some more defensive warp ins. And Nightmare, he should be able to force this back. Reinforcements are on the way. Nightmare will barely hold on to this shield battery, to this Nexus even. Shield battery in production. Stalker's taking a lot of hits already though. And Creator, he's looking to snowball out of control. Behind this is reinforcing here on the front lines. We do have a defensive Void Ray on the way for Nightmare. That will help, but we need time. Do need time, and again, it's just becoming a bit too much. Overcharge is for barely keeping these Stalkers alive. We will hold. God, but there are just so many Stalkers still barely alive here for Creator. Oh my god, so many of them deep in the red in that HP. Void Ray does arrive. Additional shield batteries, they're still in production. It feels like these shield batteries have been like producing for the past like 5 minutes. It's for quite some time now. They're just keeping targeted down. And as Nightmare is distracted, we have Adept shading into the main base, looking for some economic damage. Creator getting his own third base behind this. Getting 3 worker kills in the main. Creator now taking a worker lead. Now Blink is done for Nightmare as well. Blink has finished off for both players. Creator 1 step ahead though. +1 is on the way on that Forge. And Nightmare, sure, he technically did have a faster third, but Creator not too far behind. Again, just having an economic lead overall, just slightly. What is more important than that, though, are these upgrades. You know, what are we doing with the economy? We're investing into 1/1 even, +1 attack and +1 armor. Robo's on the way for potentially even immortal production. And Nightmare, he's doubling down here on gateways. 0 forges, 0 upgrades, just a pure Swarm Toss army. This is feeling like it's going to be a 3-base all-in out of Nightmare. Creator, he's taking a 4th. You know, he's teching up, he's going to be taking additional gases to, you know, facilitate all of these upgrades. Nightmare, I feel like he's going to double down. We have the Robo on the way. I feel like that may just be for a Warp Prism, and then we just push across the map. We just send it. But we'll see. We'll see what he goes for. 4th base is being set up. Again, we are avoiding the gases here at the 3rd base, and even here at the natural. There it is. Forge, now on the way. So Nightmare, he's looking to try and catch up, but we need more than just this. Essentially, Nightmare is going to be behind in the upgrades, taking up in a different direction. I would love to see Robotic Spade for Disruptors, or a Dark Shrine for DTs. Some way to come back in a different way to catch Creator off guard and somehow cripple the economy. Without that, Creator, he's just, going to take an even further lead. +2 now on the way. Immortal production commencing here for Creator. The other thing that we could see here is potentially Nightmare out-positioning. We could see Nightmare out-positioning his opponents. Again, Stalkers are very mobile, and in PvP it can get very chaotic. There's a world where that could happen. Until then, though, Creator is pushing. That's a lot of Zealots. Oh my god, we have 22 Zealots coming out here for Creator. 22 alongside the Stalkers, of course, as well. No Archons available for Nightmare. Again, we have pretty similar armies, but the upgrades are heavily in favor of Creator. Temple Archives on the way. The armies are going to be clashing. Zelze just charge on forward, overcharge as well, but we focus down the overcharge immediately. And Nightmare, he just has too much. The Void Ray coming in clutch towards or behind this army, activating the prismatic alignment. The boys are being pulled. Oh, that's a lot of workers going down. 12 workers falling here. At the same time, we do have a little bit of harass across the map, but good reaction out of Creator. He does pull back in time. Void Ray goes down. And it looks like Nightmare, though, with an abundance of Stalkers, he's breaking through. Wait, who needs Zealots when you have pure Stalker? Nightmare, he does force Creator back. Did lose a lot of his economy. Takes down the Warp Prism. Did lose 10 workers. But the Stalker army of Nightmare does come out on top. Okay, there was only one Immortal here for Creator. Now Creator's on the back foot. No shield battery? Uh-oh. Shield battery, no overcharge. Nightmare, he is just forcing his way across the map. Immortals are coming out just in time. They're gonna help. Yeah, we have a second Immortal on the way. We're about to get 2 upgrades kicking in for Creator. Nightmare, he's just blinking his heart out. Keeping so many of these Stalkers barely alive. And he does have that overall army lead at the moment. He's still recovering economically, but there we go. He hasn't been able to catch up and even surpass Creator in those workers. Creator on the back foot. Do you see Nightmare rotating around? He's going for a Zealot Harassing on the left-hand side. He comes in on the right. So far, though, Creator, he's keeping up. He's going to be able to force Nightmare back. Whew. And as the armies bounce off each other, I still want to favor Creator. Now he's got 2-2. We got +3 on the way. We have Archons being thrown into the mix as well. Now, the Archons, they won't matter as much just because Nightmare is going for a mainly Stalker-heavy composition. As I say that, more Zealots are coming in. We're getting Archons of our own. And the game will settle for a moment. Everyone's just taking a breath. We're all calming down, Papi. We're all calming down. Nightmare taking a 5th base. Creator is pushing once again. Again, he's aware that he has these kind of upgrade timings, these power spikes. Fighting over the tuna. Creator getting caught out a little bit here. Does he try to go in for the surround, or does he himself get surrounded? Creator, he's going to be very careful with how he engages. Oh, but he's so Zealot heavy, though. And only one Archon. Here we go. The Archons are going to do so much here to the Zealot army for both players. The Prism goes down. No reinforcements here for Creator. Pushing into a concave, and Creator, he's just being pushed back. Immortals are getting caught out as well. One after another, they are going down. And not enough Archons for Creator. He only had one. It went down almost instantly. Nightmare, he's snowballing out of control at this point. Yeah, and props to Creator for all of his upgrades. I mean, they're keeping him in this. But some of these, especially this engagement, was not ideal here for Creator. Just losing all of his high-tech units once again. And the reality is that these Zealots, they melt here to the Archons of Nightmare. They're just, what can they do? We do see Creator being overwhelmed here at his 4th base. Gonna try to come in from behind as well. But he's gonna be losing this entire Nexus. The mineral line, we have reinforcements coming in. And Nightmare, he's doing it again. The base is going to be falling. 15 workers. GG gets called, and Nightmare will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. And this is, again, this is also why, like, I wanted to dive on this series, because I mentioned before that Creator and Nightmare, they've been facing off a lot over the past couple of weeks. In KSL and ESL Open Cup Asia, they've been facing off almost on a weekly basis, or more often than that, actually, to be honest, because, you know, whether it's KSL or the Kung Fu Cups or ESL Asia, it's 3 times a week. And Nightmare has been doing really well for himself. I need to make sure I'm not misremembering. ESL Open Cup Asia 200. Need to make sure I'm not misremembering. So 200, was it KSL? Am I thinking of KSL? Korean StarCraft League. Yeah, sorry, I was thinking of KSL. It was in KSL where Nightmare popped off and he took down Classic in the semifinals. He made it all the way to the grand finals as well against Hero. And then Classic has been popping off against Creator as well. His PvP seems to be on point currently, taking down everyone in Korea outside of Hero, of course. And yeah, he's looking to do it again. I'm here for it. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing Club NV. It is Creator. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Mancherino Esports. It is Nightmare. And once again, going for the low ground. So we mentioned this at the start of the game, talking about how, you know, for a very long time historically, it is known that if you're a Protoss player in a PvP and if you're on a map like this where there's no ramp coming into the natural, 2 gate openers. 2 gate openers are standard. Very standard. Up until recently, the only player that didn't religiously do this was MaxPax. MaxPax would go for these more economic openers on the low ground. He would goad the opponent into going for a 1-base all-in, and he would shut it down. And yeah, MaxPax has been finding a lot of success as a result over the years. This season, these past couple of weeks specifically, Nightmare and Hero have both been adopting the MaxPax style. Finally, after so long, in this map pool, they're going for these gate expands. Now, I have a theory. I'm pretty sure the reason why they've just now started doing it is because they have to. What I mean by that is, in the past, it was a lot more common for there to be a ramp. It was much more common for there to be a ramp at the natural base. Here in this map pool, only 2 maps. Only Radisson Station and Site Delta. Only 2 maps in the 9 maps in the map pool actually have ramps available for economic openers. So I feel like because these ramp maps are becoming so much more and more rare, that like Nightmare and Hero and maybe some of the other Protoss players, they're gonna finally be forced to kind of spread out their wings and really branch out, and you know, if they want to be economic, go for these low ground expansions. And yeah, like I feel like the meta of PvP may be shifting. I'm curious if Creator, if Classic, Showtime, these other big Protoss, Skilless, I'm curious if these other big Protoss players are going to start doing this as well. If they're going to finally just like, alright, MaxPax, you're onto something, you know? Where they finally just accept this opener that MaxPax has been so willing to do, despite it being quote-unquote unsafe, and just doing it anyway, and just adopting that style. So I'm curious if this is going to catch on, or if it's just MaxPax, Nightmare, and Hero, you know? I'm very curious. Meanwhile, talking about the game itself, talking about game number 1 is, again, Nightmare is going for his gate expand. This time, once again, a Stargate first, as we did prioritize our gases. We do see Creator, okay, gonna be scouting. I was like, is he gonna be throwing down anything across the map? No, it's just gonna be going for a later expansion here, moving out with his Stalkers. Talking about that last game, again, Creator, like it was really impressive that he was able to get an abundance of units out, abundance of upgrades out. He was being quite aggressive, and I don't fault Creator for doing so, but a lot of his engagements, that was what was lacking here, and Nightmare was able to gain a lot of momentum, preserving his Stalkers over the course of that game. And yeah, eventually overwhelming Creator. Was impressive, very impressive what Nightmare was able to accomplish there. A lot of it did come down to his control. Something that I didn't mention but is known is that Nightmare has really good blink control, is doing such a good job at like preserving his Stalkers over the course of a fight. I feel like that was showcased in that last game, but for now, we do have the Adepts getting into the mineral line. They're going to be getting quite a lot of probes already. At the same time, the Oracle gets across the map, but no, it is going to be zoned away. 8 workers. Can we get 9? Oh, can we get 10? 9 workers in the main base. That is almost game-ending damage. 9 workers for 2 Adepts. That should not have happened. This is the downside of going for these gate expands, is it is much more awkward to wall off. It's really awkward to wall off in time and deny the Adept Shade. And we saw Creator abuse Nightmare, showing, again, why this is considered to be unsafe. And proving it. And now Nightmare is pretty committed. He's down 11 workers. He's pushing across the map. He does have the Void Ray, and can he break the natural base? One of these Stalkers already going to be going down. The shield battery's on the way, but it's going to be focused down as well. As shield battery will fall. Boys are being pulled. A couple of force fields are thrown down. The Oracle going ham here on the mineral line. Not just the mineral line, also going to be threatening the army as well. Void Ray does fall, and it looks like Nightmare is going to be forced back. But he did well for himself. 6 probe kills. Oh. Yeah, the Oracle comes in. We get 7. We get 8. Oh my god, the Oracle barely does escape. Another Void Ray shows up as well. Oh my god. Nightmare just maintaining control of the low ground, and we do focus out another handful of Stalkers. Oof. These are some rough trades, forcing a recall, but 10 workers go down in total. Nightmare now regains his economic lead. Getting into his Twilight Council. This is a very similar story to Game 1 when it comes to the overall builds. We will have a faster blink here for Creator. Nightmare going to be stuck at home for a little bit here. Is going to lose map control, but was able to do enough damage to get himself back into this economically at least. So with that, the game is going to be settled. The Oracle goes down. The Oracle does go down. Nightmare was able to see the Twilight Council, thankfully. Not the robot, but for the most part, he's aware of the tech. The Creator is heading, or the kind of direction that his tech is heading in. This Creator is checking for a third base. A third that was about to be taken. And Nightmare going to be pushing out, going for the low ground expand. I'll remove the tuna soon. Don't worry. I'll get rid of it. So this was yesterday. Oh, the probe actually not going for the expansion, gonna be moving out and going for a ninja base. Okay. Papi, calm down. Este Nightmares. Yeah, we are going for that hidden nexus here towards the bottom left. At the same time, Creator gonna be pushing on forward here, asserting himself. The goal here for Creator is to contain on 2 bases, but we have high ground vision. We can blink into the main. No shield battery in the main base. Twilight Council is looking a little bit exposed. Can we go for some tech? We're going for it. And Nightmare out of position. We dive into the main base. We look to depower and delay blink as well. 8 seconds away. Probes are going down left and right, and Nightmare is having a hard time keeping up. Already losing one of his Stalkers. Yeah, better trades here for Creator, and Nightmare's being overwhelmed. Has to pull the boys. It has to pull those workers as well. A lot of Stalkers falling. And after all said and done, Nightmare gonna be losing quite a lot there. Quite a lot of workers as well. Creator taking a slight lead. Tired sneezing. Oh god. And Creator probably thinks he's further ahead than he is. Third base is up and running. It's getting saturated as we speak. Nightmare just now getting his own third and recalling his probes over. Saturating his base as quickly as he can. Creator, I wonder if he's aware that something is wrong. He did just, as he retreated, he actually scouted the center base as well. So he sees that there's still no third. Now he may just believe that it's going to be a late third base from his opponent, which would make sense. But the longer this goes on, if he does recheck that area, he may even overreact and throw down, too much stack defense, too many shield batteries, take an even greater defensive position. There we go. The Prism is on the way. Going to be heading into some aggression. With this, we can move out. We can reinforce across the map. Here comes that hallucination. Creator, he's trying to get a read on what exactly is going on. He's like, are you two base all inning me? The gateway explosion is a little bit late for that. Up. Hallucination goes down. Creator, he realizes something's wrong. He's checking. He's looking. He's checking the left-hand side of the map, and he will come across a fresh mining base, and it is looking so exposed. Probes are going down. Do we recall here to save this? Here comes the army of Nightmare, but oh god, this is brutal. So much lost mining time here. Nightmare is coming in from behind. He's able to resume mining for the time being. Creator is sending his reinforcements. He has Immortals. He has a War Prism. He can juggle his units. He can reinforce on the front lines. And Nightmare is getting surrounded. Charge isn't done. Just now finishing. finishing for Creator. He's going to completely shut down this army. Nightmare caught in the middle of nowhere. GG gets called, and Creator ties up the series 1-1. And that is why you do not. That is why you don't get ninja bases in this matchup. Or I should say, that is why it's risky. That's why it's risky to take a ninja base like that. You know, you expose yourself. If you get caught out like that, if your base gets found, then you have to make a hard decision. Do you try to save the base, or do you give it up? And it's damned if you do and damned if you don't, because hey, if you lose that base, then suddenly you're down heavily in the economy. And if you try to save it, you're caught out in the open. No shield batteries, no reinforcements. Just caught in a really awkward position. So yeah, it was a risky move out of Nightmare. Didn't pay off in the end, and now we're getting into the final game of this series. Oh, the 2. I have to get rid of the 2 now. I think for the next series we won't have the 2 now. As we are getting into game number 3. It all ends here on Hecate. Here we go. Meanwhile, it looks like we're getting some updates here in the tournament. A couple of updates here and there, and we'll catch up with them eventually. We'll get there. We'll get there. As for now, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hecate, we have the South Korean Brodos player representing Club Envy. It is Creator. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss representing Matcherino Esports. It is Nightmare. There we go. As for now, we are, of course, going to be settling into this game for the first time this series. Nightmare is not going for a gate expand. He's maybe had enough trying to defend on going for a greedy opener like that, and especially last game, Creator did a great job at abusing Nightmare. Remember early on, he was able to kill 11 workers. It was crazy how much damage Creator got done with a couple of adepts. So this time, where we're calming things down, Nightmare, he's reverting to what he knows best and what is safe on a map like Hecate. I think the other reason why we're doing this is because this map is also quite common for proxies. Going for proxy robo at 1 base all in is quite a thing that does occur often here on Hecate. And speaking of Creator, oh my god, he hasn't scouted. Creator, I'm sure, okay, it's been 3 games, and 2 of these games so far, Nightmare, he's gone for gate expands. Well, this is looking like a proxy Stargate. I was about to say that Creator, he may be tempted to just blindly go for a proxy robo. Once the Cybercore finishes, we should be getting our tech of choice, and based on this positioning, because it's a little bit far away by ground, I imagine this is going to be a proxy Stargate for an Oracle. Yeah, Adepts are on the way, and there's that Stargate in production for Creator. So this is not all in by any means. This is just a way to get ahead economically. It's a way to focus on dealing economic damage. So we're going to have 2 Adepts coming in from the ground. We're going to have an Oracle from the sky. And if Nightmare had gone for something like a gate expand, then he would be quite vulnerable to this. As we mentioned, because Hecate is so large, it's very common to go for openers like this. So I'm sure that's a big reason as to why Nightmare would for a 2-gate opener instead. And the probe does confirm this. Sees nothing on the low ground. Is aware of the 2-gate. Twilight Council on the way for Nightmare. So this time Nightmare is going to be the player with Blink first. Oracle is looking to dive into the main. Is being chronoed as we speak. And so far Nightmare's in the dark. He hasn't really seen too much. He knows that the pylon is missing. He did scout. Oh, we wall off just in time. But Nightmare, he did scout, and he did see that the second pylon isn't in the main base, so he's looking for it. He's actually checking top left. He's checking the right-hand side with another probe. But he does miss the Oracle. He does miss the proxy. And Nightmare, he gets shut down by the Adepts. What do we have in the main? Nothing in the main base. No shield battery, no stalkers. They're being pulled out of position by the Adepts. And the Oracle goes straight for the main. We get 1, we get 2, we get 4. Oh my god. 5, 6 probe kills. And the Oracle doesn't take any hull damage. Still at 100 HP. We can just regenerate shields and go in again. So just like that, Creator is able to take a 5-worker lead. Really nicely done. Oh my, and Creator is transitioning into a 1-base all-in. We have a Robo, we have a Gateway as well. No expansion here. Creator, he's just doubling down. And Nightmare hasn't seen. And what is scary is that Nightmare, he opened up Stalker. Double Stalker into 2 more, into 2 more. What I mean by that is that we haven't made any sentries. It's very common to go into a sentry-based opener at some point, but Nightmare has been cutting sentries, focusing on Stalkers instead. Another 4 workers go down. And because Nightmare doesn't have sentries, it means that there is no hallucinated scouts. It means that he doesn't know how committed his opponent is. Now we do have an expansion, so Creator, he does throw down this base, so we're getting a little bit of mixed signals, but we're still building up a really hefty immortal count. We're on 3 gateways as well. Like this, when it does move out, it's gonna hit like a truck. Robo before expansion. Adepts are going to be coming in for a scout. Now, another reason why we're committing so hard to immortal production is because Creator doesn't have blink. He didn't go for a Twilight Council, so to make up for the lack of blink, immortals, they do make up for that. And oh my god, we're getting more probes. 2 more. 12 in total. We still have an Oracle alive, I believe. Yeah, still have the Oracle alive as well. And from here, Creator is just building up his forces. Shield battery on the way. He is of course maintaining his economic lead by having this expansion. And that is a 3rd immortal on the way. So I'm pretty sure we're going to move out once we hit up to around 4 immortals. Now we get a scout off. More workers do go down. Drugs is being shut down. 4 more probes fall here at the natural base. Now, this scout, of course, confirms the lack or the delayed Twilight Council, the immense amount of immortals that we have. Nightmare is getting into immortal production or a rebuild of his own. There we go. Blink is on the way. So by the time Blink kicks in, we're going to have, what, 4 immortals? It's going to be pretty intense. I'm curious if we make a 4th immortal if we go for a War Prism instead. We'll see what kind of direction we go in. Yeah, there we go. Immortal production is commencing here for Nightmare. Gateway explosion for Creator. Nightmare does have high ground vision, or did. To try to blink into the main. Creator is getting ready for it. Stasis trap in position. Shield battery in the main base as well. He's ready for it. There's that War Prism. So based on the scouting, Nightmare, he shouldn't throw down a 3rd. Yeah, there we go. We have a 2nd shield battery on the way. I think Nightmare is fully aware, especially with the early immortal count, that Creator, he's gonna be pushing soon. And Nightmare, he's getting ready for it. He's aware, he's not exposing himself, he's not taking a 3rd base. He's preparing for that assault, but he cancels the shield battery. Uh-oh. He is expanding. He does switch gears here, canceling the shield battery, looking to expand, and Creator is going to be pushing. Are we going to commit? A bit of a disjointed push here. Actually, Nightmare is moving out at the same time. As we have units all over the place here. Tag does get eyes on the main army of Nightmare. Creator trying to push through is going to be slowed down by those force fields. Nightmare thankfully didn't throw down that Nexus. There it is, rebuilding that shield battery. He's now aware of the push. Still going for the 3rd though. Oh my god. Alright, let's go. Immortal gets caught out. Big loss here for Creator already. Losing one of his immortals at the same time. Creator looking to take his own expansion. Prism! Oh my god. Okay, that wasn't the Prism. That was the Oracle. Oracle goes down. Prism backs off. And Nightmare, he's held. He has held Creator. He's expanding behind this instead. And in a turn of events, now we're canceling shield batteries. Now Nightmare knows how safe he is. Nightmare, he's the one who takes an immortal lead. He's got a hefty army. Like, this move out from Creator was just so awkward, where he had like half of his army split up, the other half like trying to push in but also being forced back. Really good movement out of Nightmare, just catching Creator off guard. And yeah, as a result, Nightmare, he should be okay. A big should on that, because Creator's still pushing, and Nightmare doesn't see this. Creator, he can go straight for the main. No shield batteries in the main base. Nightmare, he's at the third. We're going straight in. Diving into the main. Looking to camp the production. We force a recall. Gateway's going to be going down. Nightmare trying to come in from behind. Cybercore looking a bit exposed, and Creator, he may just have too much. No shield battery, no overcharge. Good force fields as well. We have the hallucinations coming in. Trying to tank some shots. But it's not going to be good enough. We dive on top of the Immortals, one after the other. Again, Nightmare was just not ready for this. Didn't see this coming. Lost every single Immortal, down to one. As I say that, can we barely hold on? Oh my god. It looks like we barely cannot as the Prism goes down. We trade Immortal for Immortal. Creator, he's running out of steam, but he killed 14 probes. The boys had to be pulled, and Creator, he will still win this fight. I thought he might just be cleaned up. And it looks like he will be forced out. But the damage has been done. The economy was crippled. And both players, they reset each other's immortal counts. A lot of production went down for Nightmare as well. Creator, he's going to be able to rebuild Remax, and he can push out again. That much sooner. But we do have to start from scratch. We do. It's going to take a while. Going to take a while for that to kick back in. Up. Oof. And the dust is going to be settling from here. Dust is going to be settling. After a really chaotic fight, after an intense moment, we're calming down. We're coming down. Creator, he's looking to blink into the main again. Are we overextending here? I mean, Nightmare's out of position, of course, and we're going to be able to get some damage done. I guess we can just recall back home. Pick up a couple of workers, snipe a pylon, blink further back into the main base, and yeah, there's that recall, but we're going to be bleeding out a lot of stalkers. Ooh. 8 more workers go down. You could argue that that was worth it, because we even look at the trades here, like, even though like, what was that, maybe 4 or 5 stalkers died, Creator, he can afford that, he can replace that. Nightmare less so, as he's been focusing on just rebuilding his economy. 4th base being taken, getting back into immortal production. +2 is on the way, charge as well, catching up in upgrades. Creator, he isn't out of, sorry, Nightmare, he isn't out of this yet. Finally, for the first time in a long time, he's going for his own counterattack, and he should force a cancel on the 4th. Or does force that cancel. Nice movement out of Nightmare. Creator just, yeah, wasn't quite expecting or anticipating the attack from the left-hand side. Didn't have eyes on the map. Nightmare is going to be the first to expand and take his own 4th base. And can he catch his opponent out of position? Catch Creator out of position here, as he's going to be coming in from the right hand side. That Prism looking a little bit exposed. Depth shading in from behind. Good force fields. Oh my god. Immediately Creator, he has to back off. Doesn't want to throw those ults away. As I say that. Another bit of an overextension there from Creator, bleeding out a lot of Zealots. At the same time, Adepts do shade into the main base. They get a couple of workers. Ooh, but Nightmare, he doesn't see the fourth. If he did, 100% he could have canceled this, but the fourth base goes by unnoticed. And Creator's going for his own push. So he may have bled out a couple of Zealots, this is true, but he's up in Archons. He is going to be having the additional Immortal as well. There we go. Fourth base has him spotted from behind. The Prism! No! The Prism goes down and Archon is going to go down for free. Creator getting caught out. Not the first time. And just like that, Creator has to back off, take a defensive position, and Nightmare. Again, he's still in this. He is still in this. That's what he's hoping for. Trying to catch Creator out of position here, try to catch him out in the open. And it's happened a couple of times this game already. Creator, he's at his fourth. Nightmare pushing towards the natural. Catching a couple of Zealots. And the Zealots, they just dive right into that natural. He's force fields. They do cut off the army. Here come the Archons. But and already one Archon does go down. We have to be very careful with how we engage. Again, if the Archon's able to get some good volleys off all these Zealots, the Zealots are going to be annihilated, even with Nightmare being up in supply. So the control is very delicate. He will back up. Going for a drop instead. Getting into his own Archons, which I appreciate. Rocks are knocked down. Creator's going to be pushing. Nightmare is racing back home as well, so he's going to be here in time in position. And at the same time, he's going for some harass into the main base. There's no probes left in the main. We're mined out. We do go for the warp in. At the same time, that shield battery putting in a lot of work. We force the overcharge. Creator, did he overextend? We dive on top of the Prism for a third time. It goes down. The Prism falls. The Zealots are getting annihilated from both sides. It comes down to the Stalkers and the Archons. And Nightmare, he just has the better concave, has the better numbers. Is pushing on through, even warping in on the front lines. His Prism is going to go down, but it tanks a lot of shots. And GG gets called. Nightmare has too much, and he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Nightmare takes on Creator. Oh my god. There were moments for both players. It was very back and forth. For Nightmare and Creator, they both had their moments. They both had their time in the sun there, but Nightmare, he was able to come out on top in the end. He was able to catch a couple too many high-tech units, a couple too many for free there from Creator. There were a lot of moments where Creator, he was just kind of caught off guard. He was caught out in the open, and Nightmare took advantage of it. Did take advantage of him in the end. And with that, he will be taking a lead, or will be advancing on into the quarterfinals. And we have some catching up to do. We have a lot of catching up to do. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. Let's see if we can figure out what's been going on. All right, from the top. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I got you. There we go. From the top, we do have Hot Mono taking down Bad Boys 2-1 and facing off against Gumiho in a TVT. Likewise, going down a little bit further, we have, of course, Nightmare taking down Creator 2-1, advancing into the quarterfinals to face off against a Terran player. Whether it's Gumiho or Hot Mono, yet to be determined. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Classic versus 3 Point. Oh, let's go! I was very tempted to dive onto 3 Point versus Cyan. 3 Point facing off against Classic in that second, or in the round of 16. Meanwhile, it looks like Bunny took down Ryung 2-1, facing off against Byun in the next round. I'm going to avoid that. I've had too much trouble casting Bunny versus Byun because I just keep mixing up their names. Like, Byunny is going to come out there one way or another. TVT is about to start. Scrolling down, we have Cure versus Rex, TVZ. Winner goes up against Oliveira. Meanwhile, we have some walkovers in the lower portion of the bracket, which is a little bit unfortunate as we're just waiting for some series to open up. But yeah, this is the series that I was waiting for at the start of the tournament. I was waiting for Hero versus DRG. This series here, Hero versus DRG, I was waiting for it. DRG did not show. Hero got a walkover. Likewise, SOS versus Fork was delayed because SOS was late, and I think that they're facing off. I hope they are. I know that Dark is also MIA. He's also missing, so yeah, I'm not too sure what's going to be happening down here. There's a lot of really good players theoretically. Like, there's a lot of really potentially amazing matchups, but yeah, I don't know if anything's gonna happen there. I don't quite know what's going to occur. But Hero is here at least, so maybe Hero gets a walkover to the semifinals. I know Fork is here as well, so I think Fork is facing off against SOS. I want to believe. And we just got an update. Cure just took down Rex 2-0. Cure versus Oliveira is about to start in another TVT. So we have Cure versus Oliveira. We have Bunny versus Beyond. Classic just now starting versus 3 Point, I believe. I think they already started. Unfortunately. So we're going to have to wait and chill. I guess we could wait for Gumiho. We could wait for Gumiho and Honmono to get out of game, as I think we just missed them. I do think we just missed them. But yeah, a lot of mirror matchups. A lot of mirror matchups are going on at the moment. Where do we want to go? I'm afraid, like, so I could jump on Cure versus Oliveira. The downside here with this CBT is that it doesn't lead into anything yet, because I don't know how delayed this lower bracket is going to be. I don't really know what's happening down here when it comes to SOS, Fork, and Dark. So it may be worth waiting for Gumiho versus Nightmare. I kind of want to follow it, but okay, we'll figure it out. We're going to be going in a short break. When we return, we will have another matchup yet to be determined. See you soon. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew. Hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OST, because we have our next series ready and waiting for us. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Chinese Terran player representing CranKy Z Gaming, the reigning world champion. It is Oliveira. And spawning in the top left, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Kyor. So we settled on our series, and of course, Kyor vs Oliveira was available to us, so we decided to dive on it. Again, Gumiho vs Honmono is still ongoing, and I would love to follow Nightmare in his run. Would definitely love to follow it, but again, I didn't really want to have too much downtime on the channel, and you know, we had this series available, so hopefully we're able to catch some more Nightmare later on. He did very well for himself, taking down Creator, but now we are here in a very different mirror matchup. In a TVT. Oh, fabulous. Give me again, give me Nightmares. It's not available yet. But maybe we'll get them later on. Maybe. Here we go. As for now, we're getting into some pretty economic openers. Gas expands, essentially. No double gas openers from either player. With this, we go for a Rax into a CC, ideally on the low ground as well. So some pretty economic openers from both players. Everything is looking quite mirrored for the time being. And yeah, here, what I love here about seeing Oliveira, seeing Kyor as well. I mean, we have quite a lot of Terran representation here this week. I did notice as well that we are lacking a lot of the Zerg players. We're lacking Shin isn't here. Solar isn't here either. Dark, I think Dark is MIA, so Dark may not be here, and DRG did forfeit as well. DRG, there was a walkover, so this event may be very lacking when it comes to the Zerg department, but we're used to it. It's like we're used to it here. These past couple of weeks, we've been getting a lot of TVT finals in the ESL Open Cups, or a lot of TVPs even as well. And it's okay. We're used to it. But the question becomes, who has the stronger Terran v Terran here? I know that TVT has had a bit of a rough reputation over the years. I know a lot of people aren't too fond of, like, you know, siege lines facing off against each other, and, you know, a more slower, methodical, positional-based play. And that was accurate for a while, is what I will say. But recently, this year specifically, towards the beginning of the year actually, we have had a shift and we have had a change in TVT. Maybe a lot of it is because we've been casting a lot of Björn and Oliveira, but there are some more active styles here in TVT, which is always amazing to see and amazing to watch. What I refer to is Björn and Oliveira. They both go for these more bio-heavy compositions, where instead of going for the traditional tank Viking, which is, I imagine, what Kyor is going to be working on, by the way. Instead of going for that, instead you use your starport, which is medevacs. You go for a more marine heavy composition. You go for mass drop play, and you try to outposition and try to out-control and just like pull your opponent apart instead. It's very high octane. It's very active. We already have our first medevac on the way. It's a very active style. And when it works, it looks amazing. When it doesn't, it can fall on its face. You know, all it takes is the defending Terran player to keep up with a couple of drops, and they can just completely shut you down, take away any momentum that you would have had, and just make it so difficult for you to come back, and you have to rely on doom drops at that point and going for these Hail Mary plays. It can look a little bit desperate at times. But we'll see what kind of dynamic we get. We can have, well, we do see Kyor back at home going for his Raven opener into Disable, into Interference Matrix. Again, very standard stuff in current TVT, with that new upgrade, of course, or with the change to the Raven. Interference Matrix is a big part of TVT nowadays, and we're just building up a Hellion and Cyclone army here to defend in the early game. We're not going mass Cyclone, don't get this too confused here. We're getting a third CC on location. Very fast third, actually, from Kyor. Very greedy, as here comes that drop from Oliveira. Getting into the natural base, getting 2 SCVs, and get the hell out of there. Not a bad start, but again, this third is insanely greedy from Kyor. Oliveira's going for his own third base, but it's in the main base, as Kyor's is on location. Oh, the intercept! Oh my god. As Oliveira does get the hell out of there. Cyclone's barely not able to catch Oliveira as he does pivot away, does back off. And Kyor is getting in position. Still just building up that Cyclone count. Additional Rexes are being thrown down. Stim is on the way as Oliveira is working on this push. Now, what's important is that Oliveira, he killed a couple of workers. His drop was deterred, but he didn't lose anything. Didn't lose any of his units. Pushing up the ramp. Oh, he does come across those Cyclones. So far, good tank flows, but the disable goes off. The tank is disabled. We dive on top of it, and Curie's going to completely shut this down. Rushing into the Ravens, rushing into Interference Matrix, more than paid off, and now Oliveira's on the back foot. He's racing back home, and what do we have to work with? We have one tank on the low ground, no tank on the high ground. We have a couple of Vikings to zone away those Ravens, but one disable is all it takes, and we barely do not have the energy for it. We do now. One disable, we can dive on this tank, and that's exactly what we go for. And Oliveira, he has to pull the boys. A good drop control. The Metamax. Dropping and picking up those Vikings, barely keeping them alive, breaking the lock-ons, and Oliveira will hold. Very nice control here from our Terran player. Just again, breaking those lock-ons, keeping those Vikings alive, and now we are just not slowing down. And again, this is what I love out of Oliveira, but oh god, be careful. This is what I love out of Oliveira, just non-stop aggression from our red Terran player. One push gets deflected and gets shut down, and another soon rises to take its place. We barely even have anything with this. It's two tanks. Two tanks and some Vikings, but hey, we can take down a gas geyser. We can take one down. Getting within range. Vikings gonna be landing as well. And Oliveira is playing mech. That is a second factory and a third factory on the way. I was hyping up and talking about how Oliveira goes for this like drop heavy composition, but no, he's playing mech, a very aggressive form of mech. To be fair, it's very in the face of Cure. We get 4 SCVs, we get a gas geyser. We're looking for a medevac, we will get one. Not losing anything for it. Good pickups here from Oliveira, as he does pick up and get the hell out of there. Doesn't want to overextend, as Cure instead is the one going for, you know, more of a bio heavy composition compared to Oliveira. Here we go. Cure is going to be pushing. Oliveira getting in position. We have a wall of tanks. Cure, he cannot find a way in. Not this way, at least. And going for a drop play is going to be difficult because we have so many Vikings. We have the air control. We have a Rax, of course, floating here towards the dead space. Cure having a hard time finding a way in, getting a 4cc on location. And Oliveira is just walling off. We got tanks, we got Liberators, we have sensor towers and missile turrets as well. A bit of everything here for Oliveira. He's got Vikings split up to defend against the drop into the natural. We have Vikings here towards the south as well. So just a very fortified position here for Oliveira. And Cure, he tries to find a way in, but alas cannot. But I love this. Okay, so a couple of things. Cure is transitioning. That is 3 starports. That's 2 starports in production, 1 already done. Reactors are on the way, and Cure, he's going to be investing quite a lot here into quote-unquote Sky Terran. +1 ship weapons is on the way. Basically, the goal here is for Cure to take control of the air with mass Viking, and then get into Liberators from that point. Fusion cores on the way for Lib range. So it's one of those things where in TVT, tanks, they reign supreme for a while. But really, it's not about tanks, it's about air control, because if you take control of the air, then your tanks don't mean anything because they don't have the range to actually fire away at your army. On top of that, tanks do nothing against Liberators, so Viking Lib beats Viking Tank any day. And that can also lead into, eventually, BCs. So we're kind of shifting away from the ground and shifting towards the skies, at least Cure is. Oliveira doesn't know. He does have a good Viking count because of the early game, but he is stopping Viking production because there's no need. He already has control. He knows that. He's like, I can now focus my attention on Hellions, on tanks. Little does he know that Cure is going to be amassing Vikings back at home. Again, Lib range in production. Cure getting his 4th up and running. Oliveira not too far behind, now getting his own 4th. Both players up to 80 workers. Sensor towers are finishing up. And right now, Q doesn't really care. Like, Q, he's not really concerned with denying bases or pushing in. I know that Oliveira, he's walling off and he's got an insane siege line just covering everything. This is true. But Q, always, we have a scan. Uh-oh, and we see big scan here from Oliveira. He does see the additional starports. He sees the fusion core researching. He's aware, and immediately, Doors are on the way. Viking production recommences here for Oliveira. He now realizes what's going on, and he has to hyperfixate on anti-air. Now, the Thors complicate things, because Thors, they do a lot of splash damage to Vikings. They do an insane amount of Vikings. They do stack, so you have to be very careful with them. Likewise, they are an alternate solution to Liberators. Not amazing, but they can work, they can help, and it's all that Oliveira has to rely on. So again, it's going to be all about that anti-air, making 3 Thors at a time. Aliens, they do catch the army. Cure trying to move out. Cure trying to be as active as he can. So far, he doesn't quite find a way in. Not yet. We have +2 ship weapons on the way. I think what's also important to bear in mind is that we do not have any air upgrades for Oliveira. He's hyperfixated on vehicle weapons, not ship weapons. Which means his Vikings are just going to be worse. Looking at the unit count, we have 14 Vikings for Oliveira against the 20 of Cure. Aliens, they come in for a counterattack. We do get a couple of SCVs. Cure is going to try to keep up. And both armies are maxing out. How many Vikings? 23. We're about to... Oh my god, we're about to have 28 Vikings here for Cure. Just pure Viking at this point. The goal here again, after the first fight, basically Cure, he takes control of the air. He cleans up all the Vikings. Then he can get into Liberators. Doesn't want to get into them too soon. Meanwhile, Oliveira, he's slowly encroaching on the map, taking a 5th base, throwing down a wall of turrets. So far, good disables. 2 tanks go down. It's going to be a kill, not a cancel on the CC. Army's going to clash. Big anti-armor missile here on the army. Oh my god. There it is. After a little skirmish, now Liberators are on the way. Now Libs are coming out for Cure. He's up to 29 Vikings against the 17 of Oliveira. Obviously, another big thing is the Raven as well. Anti-armor missile will completely change the way a fight turns out. And Cure, he's just waiting for his round of Liberators before he pushes out again. Meanwhile, Oliveira, he needs turrets. He straight up, he needs turrets because that Liberator army is about to rock up, and he needs to somehow support his Thors. His Thors, his tanks, everything else. Additional starports are finally on the way for Oliveira. Fusion core as well. It looks like Oliveira, he has recognized that, again, it's all about the air. That's why we have those starports finishing up. Oh my god, Oliveira, crazy. Okay, so these starports, they don't have reactors, they have tech labs. Fusion core, Yamato's on the way. Oliveira, he wants to try to get into BCs. Now, BCs, they are like the ultra late game TVT unit. That's kind of what both players want to work towards. But Cure has a more seamless transition into BCs. He has +3 ship weapons on the way. Meanwhile, Oliveira has 0. +0 even. With all these Vikings, again, he's going to have plenty of support for his BCs as well, if Cure heads in that direction. For now, doesn't have any tech labs, so can't actually make BCs yet. I'm sure he's content with his mass Viking for now. Liberators rock up, they're going to get a couple of tanks for free. And 1 tank does go down. Oliveira trying to deny and actually even take some of the bases of Cure. Oh my god. Just setting up turrets, planetaries, just cutting off some parts of the map here from Cure. Cure is going to be rotating around. Hellbat drop coming in. Going to get some SCVs. Cure, he doesn't care. He'll be pushing on forward, slowly laying siege upon the stack defense. Meanwhile, the Hellbat's getting damage done. Hello. They get 12, not too bad, 12 workers. 12 workers across the map. All right, how many Vikings? 31 Vikings against 24. Again, Cure, he does have better upgrades overall, but we have the Thors to support. And here we go, big anti-armor missile on both armies. Will bounce off each other. They don't want to commit. No, we're going in. They do trade. Cure maintaining his Viking lead. The Thors, they just weren't able to close that distance. They weren't able to push in. The tank was left behind. The Raven. A couple of rough losses there. How many Ravens do we have left? Ooh, none. So both players just lost their Ravens. So no more anti-armor missile. BC production has commenced here for Oliveira. Bold move. Part of me is a little bit concerned as we can keep pushing. We're going straight for the tank. The Marines and Marauders here are catching some re-units. Not too bad. Even the Marines going ham on the Vikings, forcing them to land. They land so quickly. Oh my god. Smart servers, it's cracked. What was I saying? Oh yeah, PCs are going to be on the way. So far unscouted by Oliveira. Sorry, by Cure. He's not aware. +1 ship weapons just finished up for Oliveira. He's catching up with those upgrades. The Thors, they haven't been able to add too much to these fights yet. They just haven't been close enough. But we're getting there. So only 3 Marauders, but they're getting work done. Nia still frames, has a auto tracking. Oh, that CC is gonna burn down. And no saving that base. The battle cruisers, they will reveal themselves. And that's forcing Cure to react, forcing him to turn all the way around. It takes a while. It does take a while to rotate over, and as a result, Oliveira, he can push in. Cure just being forced out of position. And these BCs, they can just teleport away. They teleport to the main army. Now, in a head-to-head fight, I still want to give the edge to Cure. I do want to give him the edge. But I also would love to see an add-on swap here and start getting ready for BCs as well. Until then, though, Oliveira, he's just got more starports on the way. Cure trying to rotate around, trying to find a way in. CVs are going to be going down. Some Lib harass here towards the south. 10 workers. We're pushing in. Up. Decent liberation zones, but oh my god, the anti-armor missile is real. And Oliveira, he is breaking through. Oh my god. The Ravens, the real MVP. The BCs are focused down. But Cure, he has to back off. Does get some big volleys off. Bit of miscontrol out of Oliveira. As the dust settles, Cure still maintains his Viking lead. Did lose every single Liberator, though. We basically, Cure lost all of his Libs. Oliveira lost all of his BCs. There it is. There are the Ravens on the way. If you recall, that's something that Cure was lacking in his army, but now he's adding. He's getting back into that. Oliveira, he's catching up in those ship weapons. +2. +2 on the way. He's slowly catching up in the quality of the army. Cure looking for another way in. Oliveira still on 1 BC. He's got 2 more on the way. Fury's gaining ground. Gets on some of these turrets. Zones away the army. Gets a CC as well. Looking to. Oh my god. Big anti-armor missile. That's going to be zoning back the army of Oliveira. He cannot engage, and that means that's a base going down. We could even try and get the planetary as well. And Oliveira, he has to give it up. He just can't engage. He cannot engage. Not like this. Viking's going to be landing. Planetary goes down. Again, that anti-armor missile just lasts for so long. At the same time, BCs go for their own counterattack. Oliveira may have lost the base, but Cure, he may lose one as well. The Armados go off. Cure, nowhere near this base, and the planetary is going to fall, or at least his SCVs. Yeah, the planetary will be focused down. Vikings are on the way. Can we teleport out in time? Oh. Disables 1 second too late. We teleport towards the top right. We're looking to get another base. Another BC. One goes down. Yeah, we're trading another base for another base here. Cure going to be losing a planetary. Oliveira going to be losing an orbital. Both players going blow for blow. Both players have a decent bank as well. Cure has a larger mineral bank, and even gas bank though. There it is, +3 ship weapons. Oliveira, he's about to catch up. He's about to even up those upgrades. Speaking of, we have 38 Vikings for Cure, about to be 40. Just 38 against the 33 of Oliveira. Cure for now maintains that upgrade lead, but that's soon about to leave him. Have additional battle cruisers on the way. Do we have any Ravens? We have 10. Oh my god. We have 10 Ravens for Cure. I'm worried that that's too many. I am quite concerned, especially because like the biggest spell is going to be anti-armor missile. I guess maybe Interference Matrix on the BCs, or even Thor's. That could be huge. Cure, he has the Viking lead. He has the Raven lead. Oliveira, what he lacks in Vikings and Ravens, he makes up for in Thors and BCs. And he's only down a handful of Vikings as well. Both armies just trying to get these final bases. Still marauding around with his army, looking for a way in, constantly scanning, trying to figure out what's going on. BC, I think this is another big reason why BCs are so good in the late game, is because they can do this. They can just fly around, they can just pick off bases and just teleport across the map. Like, it's crazy. It's quite powerful here, and Oliveira has been doing a great job at just denying bases whenever he can, forcing Cure out of position. Speaking of, there's no planetary here. No planetary. 9 SCVs go down. Oliveira, he's down to 17 workers. He's out of money. I just realized Oliveira does not have a mineral bank. We are muling heavily here, but this is a little bit dangerous. Cure, he's winning this battle of attrition. Cure has a 7k mineral bank. He can trade, he can fight, he can replace. Oliveira cannot. A part of me believes that it's okay to have a low SCV count because we don't have that many bases to mine from, and it means you have a larger army. This is all true. Like, Oliveira, look at the size of his army. This is why I was shocked before. He has he's up 40 army supply. It's crazy. But it's one and done. It's one and done for Oliveira. If he loses the fight, he won't be able to replace it. Oliveira, he has an on-par Viking count, has so much more to work with here when it comes to when it comes to Thors and battle cruisers. Here we go, we're committing. Disables on the BC's big anti-armor missile on both armies as well. Yamato's are going up, and Oliveira, he's just being bullied back. The auto turrets and disables were just far too much. The spellcast is going ham. Cure overextending a little bit. He has to back up. Does have to retreat, and this is what I was worried about, because Cure can remax and Oliveira cannot. As Oliveira does force back Cure's army. Auto turrets zoning him away. And Oliveira's broke. He's straight up. He's just broke. And Cure, he's burning through his mineral bank. Rebuilding, remaxing. More Vikings, Marauders, Marines on the way. And Oliveira's, he's hurting. The reality is that Cure is going to max out first. He's already at 180 supply. He's about to hit 200. He's going to push again. And Oliveira just can't keep up. Now, hopefully Cure pushes again. If he waits, then Oliveira will remax. If he waits a little bit too long, then Oliveira, he's going to be able to slowly catch up in army supply and have another big fight. But again, the BC count was reset. The disabled, like, clearly the Ravens came in clutch. They disabled almost every single battlecruiser. They just added nothing to the fight. Here we go. Curious Max, he's up 70 supply. Pushing into tanks is going to be difficult. Yes, respect them. See Oliveira, he's just turtling up here. On the high ground. Here, going to pivot around. Yeah, he is just giving, or I mean, Oliveira, he is just buying a little time here to rebuild, to remax. You have a couple of disables, and we're going straight for the planetary, the most important mining base of Oliveira. Tank is going to go down. Oliveira, he's not quite pulling the trigger. Now up 40 supply. You can see Oliveira, he's slowly catching up. He's getting there. I feel like at least our Liberators can go ham on this base, right? Yeah. Liberator sieges. No mining whatsoever. We have a Marine Marauder army getting ready for a counterattack, actually. Sensor tower's going down first, and here comes the rest of the army. Liberators getting within range. Vikings, they turn back around to defend. And Cure, he's just looking to pull Oliveira apart. Gets on top of some of the CCs. Takes another anti-armor missile to the face. These aren't the most important bases here, but, you know, we're gaining ground. And Oliveira, he's on the back foot. He has a comparable army now to his opponent. He could win a fight. Especially now with a more Raven-heavy composition. He's going in! Oh, the libs, they're exposed! And they're all going to go down one after the other. A big pickup here from Oliveira. At the same time, he's losing bases. Oh, there's actually minerals here. Uh-oh. This is not my doubts. There's value in this base, and it does go down. In general, we still have a couple of patches here and there for Oliveira. Like, he's broke because of his lack of workers, not because of the lack of mineral patches available to him. And SCVs are going down. We land the Vikings. This planetary will fall. You're so patient. You can see he was just waiting for the moment when Oliveira was actually completely out of position, just securely sniping bases over and over again. Just very safe play here from Cure, and it's working. Like, because it's slow and steady, like, it's giving Oliveira the chance to max out. That's true, but at the same time, he's also just picking away at his economy, picking away at his army, and Cure still maintains a lead. And now Oliveira, earlier I was talking about his lack of mineral bank. Now he is running out of gas as well. Just his bank in general is non-existent. Alright, he's out of money. He's going to be coming in. Once again, big anti-armor missiles. Auto turrets are thrown down from both players. Oliveira, he has the better concave. He's going to be forcing this army back. But at the same time, the bio army goes straight for the main. We're camping the production. I mean, we don't have money to produce anything. So, but regardless, the production is under threat. So we're going for the starports. Going for whatever we can. And Oliveira has to respond. We can even get the fusion core. No more BCs. I mean, we weren't making any anyway. But our cruisers were not in production. Yeah, we're going for the starports. Buying a lot of time here for Cure to rebuild his army. We scan. We see a lone tank. The tank is going to go down. The base as well. Doesn't take too many volleys at all. And this entire time, Cure, he's just been starved out. He's just broke. Sorry, Cure? Sorry, Oliveira. Oliveira's just been starved out. He's just broke. Has no mining left. This is his economy. Couple of mineral patches. Let's go for his own counterattack. Again, Oliveira, he does have a pretty hefty army with these tanks and Thors. Units tab, he's quite far behind in the Viking counts. Raven count is pretty comparable. And he's slowly gaining ground here, encroaching on this base, but Curie takes one of Oliveira's bases. Muling the hell out of it. This big anti-armor missile, oh my god, it covers everything, almost everything. Again, Vikings, they do clump up. Liberators are sieging, they get a tank, they get 2 tanks. Cure is maxed. He doesn't want to just A move though, he doesn't want to throw this away. As we get another tank as well, just unit after unit falling. Meticulously picking apart the army of Oliveira, 1 unit at a time. Scans are thrown down. God, that's a lot of Vikings. That's a lot of Vikings, man. And we're diving in. Oh my god. We're diving in for a moment. Meanwhile, when it comes to our bank, again, we're just running out of gas geysers. He doesn't know Oliveira, he's checking, and now he sees the mining of Cure. Oliveira rotating around. He's going to be spotted.
Mineral field depleted.
This orbital is going to fall. Oliveira going to try and catch this army. Yeah, there aren't any tanks anymore, and yeah, you're just going for it. We commit, we take a big anti-armor missile to the face. Oh my god. And with that, Oliveira, this is going to be his final fight here. GG gets called, he runs out of steam, and Cure will take it. He'll take game number 1. That was only game 1, by the way. Ay. GG. GG, well played, and what a game at that. We had Oliveira initially being hyper aggressive, very in the face of Cure, getting into mech, but as he was getting into mech, Cure was so quick to go into Sky Terran, to rush into mass Viking to rush into Mass Liberator as well. He did have the superior army, and yeah, was able to eventually snowball out of control, was able to pick apart the army of his opponent. I did like the initial BCs from Oliveira. He was doing a lot with them. He was getting a lot of harassing damage done. But when it came to these big fights, because of all of those Ravens, the BCs actually didn't really add a lot to it. They didn't really add much complexity to the army because they were completely shut down by those disables. And things very quickly went in favor of Cure. On top of that, I should also emphasize as well that Oliveira made the choice to stay on a very low worker count. He was intentionally not reproducing his SCVs, and he was going for a super maxed army. What does that mean? It means that he's at 200 supply with only like 20 supply worth of SCVs. So he's keeping his SCV count low, going for a massive army, and this is just a very all-in way of playing, a very committed play style. And again, it meant that like one bad fight means that you can't remax, and that's exactly what we saw. Took a rough fight with his battle cruisers, lost them all, and then Cure was in control from that moment. GG, and with that, we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alcyone, we have the Chinese Terran player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Oliveira. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is Cure. Here we go. Mega Whack in chat. Oliveira's so tempo based. When it works, it looks so good. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, even Oliveira playing mech in that last game was very much so, like at a high pace against Cure, and he was doing well for himself. He was doing well. As for now, we're getting into some very different openers this time. As a reminder, to wind the clock back to game number 1, we did have, to wind it back to game 1, we did have economic openers. Rax expands, 1 gas in game 1. Here in game 2, double gas openers all around. So a much more aggressive play style. This does mean faster factories for both players. It means delayed expansions. They could also be assuming that the other would go for a proxy. After a 35-minute game, that makes sense. It is very common after a long macro game for a player to go for a proxy 2-rax, for example. So both players are reading that, and they're both going to be able to shut it down if that were the case. Of course, there is no proxy 2-rax, so yeah, both players are just happen to be mirroring each other. Cure scouting the edges of the map, of his side of the map, making sure everything's on the up and up. Likewise, so is Oliveira. As Reaper does dive in, bypasses the Reaper of his opponent. Risky move here from Oliveira. Will delay the CC for a second or two before getting out of there. So typically a rule here in TVT is that it is illegal. It is illegal to send your first Reaper across the map just because you can lose it and then lose the game straight away. Essentially because things snowball very quickly out of control. Oliveira does keep his Reaper alive, does manage to make it back home, and he's safe and sound. Is going to be safe. Behind this, we're getting into our 1-1-1s, natural bases on location, on the low ground. And yeah, for now, we're just getting into our Cyclones, Hellions, and Reapers for early game aggression. As Oliveira is pushing out, vying for control of the Zelnaga. Starports are on the way, and I'm curious if we're going to be seeing an add-on swap here. It looks like we should from Oliveira. This could lead into early game Ravens or an early Banshee. Never mind, we don't add-on swap, we're just going to be making it here on that starport. So Oliveira being a little bit more tech heavy. Meanwhile, Cure is going for a drop. Medevac is on the way. No add-on swap required. Cyclones in production as well. A very aggressive opener here from Curie. He's going to be looking to push out with his Cyclones Marines with everything he has. Meanwhile, back at home, Oliveira is going to be the defender. He'll have a tank. He'll have a Raven. The Raven grants access to a defensive auto turret as well. We'll see if he can keep up. So here we go. Cyclones are on the way. So we have a drop on the right-hand side. At the same time, I believe this army should be looking to take control of the Zelnaga. For now, though, we're chilling back at home. We don't want to overextend. Last thing we want is to push out, and then a drop comes in from your opponent, and you're just left with your pants down. As the drop does slip into the main base, is going to get a couple of SCVs. 3 SCVs. Oh my god! 4 SCVs go down. We even get some damage done on the Raven as well. And this is getting a bit out of hand. We should be able to escape. 5 workers, 4 Marines as well. Ay, ay, ay. And we're coming back in. There's a tank in position though, so yeah, we're gonna have to calm down a little bit. Oof. So we take a tank shot to the face. Third CC is thrown down for both Oliveira and for Cure as well. Cure's is on location. Again, Cure has map control because of this marauding army. Cyclones are coming back in. Oliveira is stuck at home, so Cure, he knows he's safe to pull this off and to get his base on location. Scan ahead of time does reveal the army. Means that the Cyclone can't really get much done. Maybe we can pick away at the depot, if that. As Oliveira is going for a counterattack. Cure's army is out on the map. He has, okay, 2 Cyclones back at home. They are softened up. 2 SCVs go down. Cure is getting ready for his own drop as well. For now, though, the game is going to be settling. This time, Oliveira is not playing mech. He's going bio tank. So is Cure. Bio tank all around. And we are just settling into our 3-base setup. Up. We're getting into our upgrades. Oliveira, his current goal here is to establish his 3rd base. Cure is in position to delay the 3rd for as long as he can. Doesn't quite get anything. Has to retreat. Has to respect the tank army. Up. And we are going to be able to at least shut down the Reapers. And Oliveira, he is not slowing down. He's continuing to push. At the same time, here comes the drop. Cure with the backstab. He gets 4 more SCVs. And Oliveira, he turns everything back around. For a moment there, I thought we were going to get Stim. Stim will survive. Raven's taking a lot of hits as well, and Cure is going to have to resolve the Raven! No, he gets 1! Oh my god, loses the Cyclone in the process. He wants that other Raven! Getting a little bit greedy here, but 7 workers, 1 Raven for 1 Cyclone. Well worth it here for Cure. Ay, 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 that was huge. Especially considering that we did invest into Interference Matrix as well. But here we go, Oliveira is still pushing. Looking at the units tab, Oliveira, he is up in tanks. We have 5 tanks to the 2 of Cure. But the tank count doesn't really matter when we talk about Ravens. Of course, they can disable those tanks. They can even things up. Cyclones do go down. We're diving in. Big disables covering almost every single tank. And Oliveira is going to lose everything. GG gets called, and Cure cleans him up, taking the series 2-0, taking down Oliveira. GG. GG, well played. A very aggressive style here at a Cure. Oh my god. Very aggressive here, just constantly just dropping, harassing, pulling Oliveira apart, pulling him back home at times, and yeah, was just too much. Took an economic lead. Oliveira felt committed to, or felt the pressure to push out, to move out, and was shut down in the middle of the map. GG, well played. Cure will advance on into the next round, into the semifinals. the semifinals, where he has another opponent soon to be ready and waiting. Let's go. Let us figure that out. Okay. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves as we switch our scenes over and we can catch up. So Gumiho versus Nightmare is currently ongoing. Gumiho and Honmono, they went to the ace match, went all the way to game 3. They're currently mid-series. I believe they're being covered by Chicken Man. I believe Chicken Man is casting that series in English. Scrolling down a little bit further, Bjorn took down Classic 2-0, Bunning 2-0 as well. Bjorn is the first to be waiting in the semifinals. Likewise, with Cure taking down Oliveira, he's also waiting in the semifinals as well. So we have Bjorn and Cure in their own respective series, or waiting for their opponents. And we are waiting for Hero and Dark to wrap up. Now, I was concerned that Hero and Dark weren't going to play because Dark was MIA, from my understanding. But apparently SOS did 2-0 fork, and apparently Dark took down SOS, and apparently Hero and Dark are mid-series. And let's quickly have a look to see if they're being covered by anyone. I think Into the Inu. Let's have a look. Yes, okay, so Into the Inu, he is casting Dark versus Hero, and they are currently in game 3. Oh my god. And they just finished. Oh, there we go. There we go. So we already have our lower semifinals. We're going to be getting ready for it. Predictions will be opening for the semifinals now that we've reached this point. And let's find out who faces Cure. Is it Hero or Dark? Here we go. So we are going to be going on a very short break. When we return, we'll have that lower semifinals. And, oh, actually, I should open up Inu's channel again. We can just watch it. Did I miss it? What happened? Oh my god, it was in the late game. They were in Golden Aura, by the way. Oh my god. But it looks like Hero... Yes, it looks like Hero did come out on top. He took down Dark 2-1. And it's going to be Cure versus Hero in the semifinals. This does mean that the last Zerg player has been eliminated. It's just Terran and Protoss remaining. And after the break, we're going to be featuring Cure and Hero up next. See you soon. See you soon. Oh my god. Immortal?
Immortal? Gonna get
Wait,
taken out for free?
What?
No.
It survived?
Yep. Living up to its name.
It's on 4 HP. It has no right to live, but somehow the Immortal
Yeah.
survives. The SCV finished him off. It's got 1 kill. The SCV
That-
killed the Immortal.
That is a cinematic goddamn shot.
Oh my god.
SCV atop of a pile of Immortal. Jesus.
Like, that SCV deserves a medal, but like no one's gonna live to tell the tale. Like, no one's gonna be able to survive long enough to let everyone know that that SCV was a hero.
This Overlord, though, if the Overlord positioned to the north of Papa Panda Space catches a Mutus, that could give it ample time for Numinator to react. But I think even with the, like, yeah, they are going to see their Mutus, but I think he just slows down the Hydroden, right, at this stage.
No, here's the thing. Papa Panda is showing the Mutalisks, and now they're making Roaches, so the Roaches are going to be the surprise.
Yeah, that's actually wild. I love that.
This is insane.
It's beautiful.
I remember you looking very differently, but you know, I'm not judging.
Yeah, the camera adds 5 pounds, even though last time you saw me it was with the camera as well. But
Why would the camera pay you? See what I did there? Yeah.
European humor. Hey, like, do you know why it's got 2,000 atmospheres?
Why is it called 2000 atmospheres, Chase?
Because it's under the sea and there's 2,000 atmospheres of pressure.
But I believe they have their own like studio or like kind of complex where they have all their players rock up and stuff, and it's cool that they do support Ranger the way that they do. Yeah, a lot of the C players, it's cool that they were able to find that support.
Yep. Little community, but very tight knit. It's the best. I love you, Light.
I wasn't expecting that. I love you
Say
too,
it
Chase.
back.
I love you too.
Worst love story than Twilight. Blackburn LE. What does LE stand for, Light? What's it stand for?
LE stands for Liquid and Danger. What does that mean, Chase?
Ellie was my first high school crush.
Oh my god. Why do you keep bringing her up? Why do you keep bringing her up, Chase?
I can't let her go, man. I can't do it.
Oh my god.
Every time that's why I stopped playing tournaments. Every time I saw Ellie, it reminded me of. But yes, Blackburn, ladder edition.
Shaking my head, mate. Shake my head.
Ellie edition.
This guy thinks it's ladder edition, man. Oh my.
I was maxed out, but I
Yeah,
didn't
we
know
were
what I
both
was hitting.
Yeah, exactly. We were both maxed out, but like we couldn't target fire or anything.
So you can see the big difference here in the teams. If you look at the army value graph, it's we're all pretty much the same here, except for the two Protosses. The two Protosses shoot up, and then one of them plummets to the ground. The other doesn't. You can see here in the graph the players.
Senator, I would like you to, Mr. Judge, I would like you to notice that you.
Exhibit number 1. What is the opposite of stone?
You see,
I
it's
had a
going
bit
up,
of army.
just in the wrong way.
Yeah. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that duct tape from times gone by, as we have arrived at the semifinals of ESL Open Cup Asia number 201. We're nearing the end of the broadcast. Only a couple of series remain. Only a couple more matches here left to determine who is going to be this week's champion. And we're here to find out who makes it at least to the grand finals. If you're in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions are open for a couple of minutes, so place your bets. Be as quick as you can because they will be closed momentarily. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of side Delta, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Hero. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid, looking damn strong earlier in that TBT. It is Cure. I'll let him know. Predictions open. Fabulous, man, fabulous. Ooh. Oh boy. So as we're getting underway with our lower semifinals match, I believe the upper semifinals are soon to begin. Bjorn is still waiting, and I think they're still mid-series. I think they are still mid-series in Gumiho versus Nightmare. If we're lucky, if this series is a little bit fast, then we can maybe catch the upper semis as well. But we'll see as, oh, Cure, he does slip in. He does manage to go for the eBay block. Yes, oh my god, Hero is being so annoying. Does barely not get the SCV. Does a lot of damage, but little does Hero know that, yeah, he's going to be forced to expand elsewhere. This is a big moment for Cure. So, Hero, he is harassing and he's being a little bit annoying, this is true, but he was unable to determine that an eBay block was coming. He was unable to stop it. He's forced to expand here at the triangular third location. And as a result, Cure can punish this. And there we go. Factory follow-up. Factory before CC. Despite going for a gas first, Cure is looking to go into either Hellions or Cyclones. We have a reactor on this Rax, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be going for an add-on swap. And whether it's Hellions, whether it's Cyclones, we're looking to get economic damage done. We're looking to try and pull Hero apart. It is very difficult as a Protoss player to defend both bases at once. Both your natural base, which is in an irregular position, and also your main base as well. So we'll see if Hero can keep up. We'll see if he can shut this down. There's that CC on location. A delayed CC here from Cure. There's that add-on swap. There are the Cyclones, where there are the Hellions on the way. Now again, with these Hellions, we should be making an extra wave of them as well. 3 Hellions do one-shot probes. And Hero's trying to get a read on what's going on. Maybe even delay the CC of Cure. Yeah, he's going right for the SCV. Oh. He's going to be able to shut down at least the Marine, but the Hellions, they go ham here on the Adept, and up. They take down the SCV. Do delay the expansion for a couple of seconds as Cure does come back to the low ground. Behind this, Hero went for a Stargate opener into Oracles, not into Phoenixes, so his goal here is to get some economic damage done. It's to get across the map and try to cripple the economy or even force Cure back home. Meanwhile, only... okay, there we go. I was like, only 2 Hellions? There we go. 4 Hellions, so again, they can one-shot workers. They're looking to annihilate the mineral line. We'll see if they can. Oracle is staying at home, by the way. Oracle is in position. Hellions are zoned away. So far, good defense here by Hero, as he's looking to chase this down. And just keeping tabs on these Hellions. Oh my god, even going for a kill. Doesn't quite get him. Good control out of Cure. Barely keeping that Hellion alive. Wasting that energy. Cyclone comes out just in time, and this Oracle... yeah, it's not going to get much done. But what's important is that at least the I keep saying Cyclones. I mean Cyclone. At least the Hellions were forced to stay back home. And Hero, he maintains control of his economy. He's getting saturated here on 2 bases. Getting a 2nd and 3rd gateway. Cure at the same time is going to be pushing, is going to be threatening that natural base. He is back with a vengeance. As Hero's getting back into Phoenix production, we have a Twilight Council on the way, so it's going to be Phoenix and Charge. We're not going for a robo-heavy composition. Hellions, they come in. They get 2. They get 2 workers, but they get picked up immediately. A good cleanup here from Hero. He shuts down the Hellions. Without only losing 2 workers. And just like that, Hero, he takes map control. Takes control of Site Delta. Gonna be looking to contain Cure and maybe even get some counter damage of his own. As he goes to the mineral line, but there's a Cyclone in position, forcing Hero back. Behind this, we're getting into our 3-1-1 setup. 3 Raxes, 1 factory, and soon to be 1 starport. Delayed starport production, bear that in mind. Just focusing on marine production for now. Just building up a large army. Hero back at home, working on +1 armor, getting into a mass amount of charge lots. Cure already pushing, oh my god. A bold move. As he moves out, the production is exposed, and yeah, we're looking to pick off whatever we can. Marines, they barely do escape. Hero, he did miss those Marines, unfortunately, and here comes the push. Hero getting ready back at home. Oh, we don't have too many of those Zealots. We do turn back around. Oh my god. Hero trying to catch some of those Phoenixes. Doesn't quite get them. Back at home, the gateway explosion is upon us. Hero, he didn't overreact either. You can see Curie's trying to catch these Phoenixes desperately. And up! Up! Oh my god. Barely, he's unable to keep up. The Phoenixes, they will survive. They're just keeping the entire army pinned back at home. We get another SCV. And as Cure is stuck here back at home, we do see Hero transitioning into some splash damage into Storm. Storm is now on the way up. Looks like 1 Phoenix will not go down. Oh my god, it barely survives. 6 HP. And Hero is getting into Storm. 3rd base is being taken as well. Cure getting into his own 3rd CC as well here at the natural. So what's important is that Cure isn't going for a 2-base all-in. He is taking a 3rd. And still pinned back at home. Now, what else is important here is that even though Cure didn't do any damage with his push, he also didn't really lose anything. Looking at the unit loss tab here, he's bled out the Hellions, of course, and a handful of Marines. But he has maintained his army. So he's building up towards a later timing here. The Storm will connect. Oh my god. Massive, the massive storms here on the Bio army. We're breaking through though. We're getting on top of the High Templar. Good target firing. The army is battered. It is bruised, but it's still there. It's pushing through. A couple of Marines are picked off. Cure making his way towards the natural where there are Zealots waiting for him. Pylon going to be going down. We don't have a Storm. We're just going right for the natural. Overcharges popped, and it's a one-way trip. There's no coming out of this. Cure, he gets into the middle line. He gets a couple of probes, but he will lose everything. He should lose everything. As we manage to doom drop into the main base, a couple of Marines. But everything will fall, and what did we really gain here? Some Marines are being cleaned up. Good target firing. So that was 29 Marines, 2 medevacs, 6 Marauders, and we traded and we got 7 probes, 3 High Templar, not bad. And that's really it, a couple of Zealots as well. That was a costly trade from Cure, and now Hero is going for a massive counterattack. Up! Big mine shots! Massive mine shots going to be going off. Can Cure hold? Yeah, Widowmines, they go off once again, forcing Hero back. But all we need are some good storms, and Hero, he can break this natural base. Additional Widowmines getting in position. I love that they're kind of like hiding their little shadow there with the sandbags. So pushing in the mine. Hot pick up there from Hero, keeping his units alive. 4th base is on the way behind this. We do have 2 storms available in that War Prism. 2 High Templar. Hero is looking for a way in. But the spread is good. Again, we're just ready for a storm. Ghosts are coming out. EMPs are available. And as Hero attempts to poke in, Cure establishes his third. His third is finally up and running. Cure actually has an economic lead. Hero, after losing all those workers earlier, not quite there yet. He's soon to be on 4 bases, that is true. But Cure is even on workers with mules. Cure is ahead. Hero has to back off. He knows that he doesn't want to overstay his welcome. Zealot does spot the move out. Hero's getting ready. We have a couple of Zealots, another Warping is on the way. Up the mine, the flanking storms! Not bad. Did graze the army. We still have additional storms remaining. And Cure has to back off. Again, he had EMPs, but he just was not expecting storms to come in from the left-hand side. Did catch him off guard. This Hero is pushing. This time Cure is ready for him. War Prism taking a lot of hits. We're coming forward for the EMP. Oh my god. Mine does go off as well, and Hero, he's looking to collapse on this army. He's going for it. How good are the mine shots? Not bad here on the Zealots, forcing some friendly fire. The storms, they do not connect with the army, but they connect with the medevacs. Medevacs are going down. The boys are being pulled. Do we have another storm? We do. Storm connects, and Hero, he breaks the third base. GG gets called, and Hero will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Does take the first game, and again, Cure had a lot of potential with his army. He had a good economy, but the EMPs were not connecting. We were not able to deny those storms. We weren't able to land those EMP on any of the High Templar, actually. As the attack, the surround was too good. Hero collapsed on the army and was able to break Cure then and there. And now one more game is all that Hero needs. Cure needs to fight back here and now to force the ace match. Meanwhile, we do have an update. The upper semifinals is underway, and it's Byun versus Gumiho, a TVT upper semifinals, as Gumiho did take down Nightmare 2-1. Unfortunately, we didn't catch it. That was covered by Chicken Man, though. Chicken Man did cover that best of series. And I believe Chicken Man is covering the upper TVT. And we'll get there eventually. If this series wraps up a little bit faster, then we can find ourselves in the upper semis as well. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Oh, the StarCraft, oh, the StarCraft. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have the South Korean Protoss player, leading the series 1-0, representing Dragon Kai Gaming. It is Hero. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Looking to fight back. He needs to fight back here and now to force the ace match. But again, winding it back to the beginning of even game 1, as the SCV should be looking for an eBay block. There we go. SCV is going to be going the long way around to try to get that eBay on the low ground. And again, Hero's defense was pretty impressive. Remember, despite the Hellion opener of Cure, he killed 2 probes. 2 probes for 4 Hellions. It was not worth it in the end. Hero was able to shut it down and then counterattack with his Phoenixes, if you remember. Contain his opponent. So we'll see if Cure can have a little bit more success, because once again, the eBay block comes in. We have the engineering bay here on the low ground. This is going to be forcing a bit of an awkward, unnatural natural out of Hero. As he does see, it's too late to stop this, and he does have to expand elsewhere. Now, once again, Cure is going for a Rax expand, but upon the completion of this eBay, we can go for a faster factory to get into Hellions again. And that should be what's happening here. Yep, there we go. Factory should be on the way. And Hero takes the linear third. Of course, Cure confirms this. He doesn't see the base, but he did check the triangular third location. was looking for proxy. Oh, he was actually checking the ninja base. He was checking the gold base just in case, as Hero would be one to take a hidden base if he so found an opportunity to. Once again, we have the reactor on the racks. We have the factory on the way. We should be going for an add-on swap and should be going for Hellions again. SCV confirms the location of the expansion, which also rules out the potential for proxy. So he knows that Hero isn't going for a one base all in. We have that Stargate opener again, and Hero should be reacting and responding with that Oracle. Behind this, the Hellions are in production. And yeah, the game is going to be looking very, very similar to game number 1, the opener at least. Adept has arrived. The goal here is for Hero to get a kill on this SCV to delay the expansion. SCV is pulled back. Hellions come out. We get one Marine before shading the hell out of there. Hero racing back home. Interesting. Okay, we do have a stark difference, actually. It is not Oracle first. It is Phoenix instead. Now, Phoenix's, I do actually like this a lot better. If you remember, the Oracle was initially designed to harass across the map. Phoenix's, this early on, are much better because they can completely shut down the Hellions. They can CC them, of course, and pick them up. Hellions have been spotted. Oh, already taking a lot of hits. Oh, one Hellion goes down. A brutal loss here for Cure. And why do I say that? 3 Hellions survive. 3 Hellions one-shot probes. And there's only 3 left, which means all it takes is to lift up one of them and we remove one-shot potential. And even then, again, this Hellion is so low. Cure going to be shuffling his units. Getting in position, he goes straight for the mineral line. Mineral line is empty. And here comes the army. 1 Hellion gets picked up, completely shut down. 2 Hellions make it out back at home. Cure, of course, going to be getting his production up and running. Another 3-1-1 setup. Delayed starport. And 1 Cyclone will survive. I keep calling them 1 Hellion will survive. What? There are Cyclones on the way. I think my brain just sees Cyclones. I just want to talk about them. They're crazy, man. They're crazy. Back at home. So Phoenix, of course, they gain map control, and Hero, he's just containing Cure to these 2 bases. He Maynard's over, completely saturating that natural. He was oversaturated. He knew that his base was exposed. He just waited to deal with the Hellions, and he just transferred everything over. And once again, Twilight Council follow-up. So it's not Phoenix Colossus, it is Phoenix Charge. Phoenixes and Chargelots. And that should lead into Storm. So again, a just very similar game to game 1. Just very, very similar turn of events. But what I will say is that I do think that the Hero has a much stronger start this time. Oh my god, we're actually going for +1 air attack? Okay, we're doubling down on Phoenixes. And with +1 air attack, we could even double down further. I'm curious. Here we go. Here's the push. Here's the push from Cure. If you remember last time when Q moved out, Cure even moved out. Hero did force him to turn back around because of these Phoenixes, as they threaten the bases here of Cure. We get an SCV. We're going to camp the production. Meanwhile, Cure is racing across the map. Now, this is going to be hitting with Stim. Combat shields and +1 on the horizon as well. A lot of DPS, a lot of potential in this army. And they just stim right into the main base. Oh my god, and already 1 Phoenix goes down, a 2nd Phoenix as well. A good start. And we go straight for the mineral line. Boys are being pulled. The Sim City working against Hero, and so many workers are going down. Oh my god. The dive was insane. We get the entire mineral line. 16 probes go down. And that was more than worth it. We're not done. More Marines, they just race their way into the 3rd base. 20, 21, 25 probes. Oh my god. Kira just pulling Hero apart. He was just out of position. His army was at the third base, was not at the natural, could not hold on to it. And just like that, Kira takes a massive economic lead. And the pressure is now on Hero to counterattack. We gotta go. And Kira knows all he has to do is defend. We have a bunker on the way, a turret as well. It's not done yet. And will it be done in time? I mean, this army just feels lacking here. No charge lots. Vanilla Adepts, Vanilla Stalkers. We commit to the shade. Adepts are going to get cleaned up. And Kira, he's going to defend beautifully. What can Hero do? He does go for the Marines, and he's going to be able to clean up some of them, but yeah, GG gets called. There's no coming back from that, and Kira will take game number 2, tying up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Again, one swift move there, just building up his army here with 3 Raxes, 1 Factory, hitting with Stim, barely with Combat Shields and +1, and unfortunately, Hero just was out of position, right? He had an army to defend, but if you remember, he was not at his natural base. There was an opening, and Kira, he just sent it. he just went straight for the main, rushing past everything, annihilated the economy, and here we go, game 3. Now I'm curious, do we get the same openers? Do we have a Stargate opener with an unnatural natural? Do we go Hellions into a 3-1-1 setup again? 3 games in a row. I'm here for it. I am here for it. Here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have our South Korean Protoss player being forced into the ace match, representing CranKy Z Gaming. It is Hero. And he's not going to get eBay blocked this time. And spawning in the bottom right, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Team Liquid, his new team. It is Kyor. And this time, Hero is going for a low ground gate expand, which means he will get vision of the SCV coming in if there was one, and he would shut down the eBay block, which means Hero can expand where he wants to this time. Oh boy. And this time, Kyor isn't sending an SCV across the map. He knows. Isn't going to try it, isn't going to attempt it. So already a very different opener. It is still a Rax expand, and this time it should be Rax into CC, not into Factory. It should be an economic opener here from Kyor. This probe is being annoying, and because Hero can freely expand, he is most likely going to go into a Twilight Council opener, not a Stargate, but we'll see. Again, Stargate openers are very common when you're forced to expand in a really irregular position, just because Phoenixes do so well traversing through all this terrain, despite all the ramps and the rush distance by ground. Phoenixes, they can help defend and shut down Hellions and Cyclones alike. There we go, we have a Zealot on the way. CC has been spotted. As we mentioned, because there was no eBay block this time, there's no need to get a faster Factory. It's just a Rax expand, economic opener from Kyor. Likewise, Hero can take his natural. For the first time this series, SCV comes in, but a little bit too late. Nexus is thrown down, and Kyor confirms that. He does see the Nexus. So he knows he's not being all in, he knows he isn't being cheesed. He knows that he is safe. Zealot is going to be zooming across the map, but the Reaper and Marine, they do get on top of it. No hits whatsoever. Now the Zealot does keep the army at home at least. And the Adept is on the way. The goal here to try to delay the CC, and it looks like, can we get on top of it? We cannot. Oh. He wants the Reaper. Do we commit? Oh, we do. We commit to the Reaper. The Reaper goes down. We trade 1 for 1. Another Adept does rock up. Hero just being so aggressive here. The command center does complete, and yeah, these Adepts, they can't really get much done here. They can deny mining, but not much else. Now back at home, Hero is going once again for a Stargate opener. This time he could go with Oracle first, actually, to try to get economic damage. I'm curious how he approaches this, as Kira is going for a straight up 1-1-1 this time. We're not going for that kind of massive bio timing with stim and combat shields. Not this time. Just a 1-1-1 into a second Rax. So this should be leading into drop play. Speaking of drop play, it is going to be a mine drop. So with a mine drop from Cure, he does go for a Cyclone first just to shut down these Adepts. The Adepts are going to be forced to shade away. Phoenix production has commenced. We have our Phoenixes as our unit of choice, not the Oracle, just Phoenixes for a more secure early game. Ripper is on the way. Adepts are going to threaten the shade, but a Widowmine is in position, so we have to be careful. Medevac comes out, and the mine drop is going to be moving out across the map. Oh. And we commit! Oh my god, we commit to the shade. The boys are being pulled. The Phoenix is here to support as well, however it can. And we're getting a lot of SCVs. That's 4 SCVs going down. The Adepts, they will barely shade away. Get the hell out of that natural. As the Phoenixes move in, they're not going to get too much done. They get a full scout. They get confirmation of the 3-1-1 setup. Add-ons and upgrades are on the way. The Widowmine does come in. And we do react in time. One probe goes down. Not just that, but Cure gets a full scout of the main base. He sees the Stargate. He also sees that this time, for the first time in this series, it is not going to be Phoenix into charge, as the Widowmine is going to get shut down, and the Medevac as well. It is Phoenix Colossus. And of course, Cure did see the robotic space, so he knows. He's fully aware that Colossus are in production. And that Hero is going for a very tech-heavy composition. It means that his ground army is going to be lacking. He's going to have very little to defend. And Cure is pushing, looking to delay and deny the third. Oh, shut down that pylon. Hero trying to catch out this army. But Lassie can't really engage. Here he desperately wants an expansion, throws down the third base, but Cure is here to deny it. As he pivots back around. Forces a cancel. At the same time, Phoenixes are across the map. They get a couple of SCVs. They get one. We're going for a Colossus drop. We're pushing, Bobby. We're sending everything we can. We're trying to catch this army. Oh, the Prism! No! The Prism is going to go down. We stim on top of the army. The Colossus falls as well. A massive catch here in Hero. He's falling under the pressure. Just caught completely out of position. He will clean up this army, but that was not worth it for the Protoss. Hero is now taking a third. This center third base is so exposed. It's here on the low ground, right next to this high ground as well. And Cure is he's just rallying across the map. He's just pushing. He knows he has momentum. Oh, the Medevacs. Medevacs are a bit exposed. Second Colossus does come out. Big shout out to Luck. Oh, thank you, Luck. Thank you for subscribing. Gracias, papi, gracias. As Hero is fighting for map control, he's going to be forcing Cure back. The scan reveals the base location. Cure sees the third. He's going for a drop. So he's racing back home. Oof. Widowmine gets dragged into the Protoss army. Stripping a lot of the shields away from this. Hero, he cannot engage. Not anymore. Yeah, and Cure's pushing. He can see how vulnerable this army is. We have another Colossus on the way. At the same time, here comes a drop. Hero, he doesn't see, not until now. Oh, he's forced to recall. Forced to recall back home. Phoenix says they will shut down the drop. 6 workers go down, and Cure, he goes straight for the third base. Widow Mines, they get in position. We don't waste the shots. Uh-oh. Ooh, big connections. Well, the Phoenixes, no! Phoenixes are going to go down. 16 workers as well. Every single worker at this third base. And Cure, he backs off with his Marauders. He goes for the drop with the Marines. Ay, ay, ay. Hero is just being pulled apart. He cannot keep up. He has 3 Colossus, but nothing else. Barely has any Phoenixes. Barely has a ground army to support the Colossus as well. And Cure, he's just building up his forces back at home. He kept whatever he could alive. Vikings are on the way. Ghost Academy for Ghosts. Marauders, 3rd CC as well. Sure, Hero, he has a 3rd base, but he's down in workers. He's down in economy. Now, the one upside is that Hero has preserved his Colossi over the course of this game. He already has 3, and he can start working towards Immortals and Disruptors. Oh, Phoenix goes down. Not like this. As Cure is establishing his 3rd base, big shout to Thriving GG. Thank you so much for the raid of 59. Gracias, papi. Gracias. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Welcome everyone to the semifinals of ESL Open Cup Asia number 201. To game 3, the ace match between these 2 players, and Hero, he's had a hard time. He's had a very hard time here in this game. His 3rd base was heavily delayed. He's been losing all of his Phoenixes. He was caught out in the center of the map. Speaking of being caught out, oh god. Mine shots don't go off, but Cure, he's up heavily in supply. He's waiting for his ghosts, for his EMPs, and then we're pushing, and I don't think we're stopping. I don't think Cure can stop him. We'll see. Again, he at least has 3 Colossi. He does get eyes on the army.
Research complete.
He's trying to keep up with the movement. Phoenixes, they will confirm the rotation of Cure. Hero is trying to keep up. Pushing up a ramp into a concave. Big EMPs on the entire army of Hero. And the Marauders, they just stim on 4. They shut everything down. Mine shots go off as well, and Hero has nothing left. Only a single Colossus, and even that goes down. GG gets called, and Cure will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Cure as he does overcome and surpass Hero here. Oh my god, from the get-go, his first push, it was just disastrous when Hero got caught out in the center of the map, when he lost his first Colossus, when he lost his Warp Prism as well. That was brutal, and from that moment, Cure had a lot of momentum, of course, also denying the 3rd base over and over again. Cure just snowballed out of control, and Hero could not keep up. And just like that, we have our first finalist. Just like that, we are waiting to see who comes out next, who faces Cure in those finals. Oh boy. Well, it's gonna be TVT galore here, because Hero was the final Protoss. He was the final Protoss player in the tournament, and he has fallen, which means only Terran remain. It is going to be Gumiho, Bjorn, and Cure left in the tournament. Gumiho and Bjorn are currently mid-series. They are currently 6 minutes into their game. I'm just checking. It is being covered by Coca in French. Shout out to Coca. Over on Comeback TV. Oh no, sorry, on his own channel, I think. And I believe also being covered by El Pollo Loco Papi, I believe covered by Chicken Man, as they are in the ace match. We have confirmation. Bjorn and Gumiho, they are in game 3 at the moment, which means it could go either way. Could go either way. Either Bjorn or Gumiho could advance on. So far, they're only 6 minutes into the game, and it's a little bit too early to determine who has a distinct lead. But regardless, this also means that we won't be able to cast the upper semis. The game that they're in is going to be the final game, regardless of the outcome. And that means that up next is the grand finals. One series remaining in today's broadcast. One series left. So this means that I can fix this. I could just do there we go. Cure versus TBD. TBD Terran, not random Terran player. So we are going to be going on a short break. A short break. When we return, we will have the grand finals. Have the finals. Just catching up in the chat. Have we always been able to see the player cam in the mirror map? That is a relatively new feature. I say it's a new feature. It has been around for like a year. Basically, it is a specific extension mod, which does show you their POV on where they're looking. Has been around, I want to say, since last year, or actually, I say last year. It may have been around since the beginning of EPT. That would have been 2020, so COVID era of StarCraft. Since 2020, I think we've had that feature, which is still relatively new in like the grand scheme of things with how long StarCraft has been around. But there you go. That is a feature that you see from time to time. We don't use it in every tournament, so you don't see it every game, which is maybe why you haven't seen it too often. But we use it whenever we can. What are you talking about after some patch? It was added by the people that made the WTL mod. Maybe for WTL last year. Now that I think about it, maybe, or even before that. Observer Plus. That's it. It was made for Observer Plus. For now, though, again, we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we'll have our finals. See you soon.
Oh. And welcome to Battle for Americas. It is I, Milk and Cookies. Ha! Psych! I'm the host today, not Light. I'm here joined by Light, actually. I had no idea you were counting down. I thought we were still going through that whole, like, oh, you need permission from Darkings? So I was just like, oh. And I heard your mic beep, and I was like, oh, crap, he undeafened and unmuted himself.
What do you want? I asked you if you're ready. You're like, yes.
I was ready, and then you didn't count down right away. So I was like, and then you left. I was like, all right, I guess he left. Like, we're waiting. And I was like, oh, all right then. No, they got to pick up and go. These medevacs are gonna get cleaned up.
Oh, yeah, everything's gonna be going down. The Marauder gets sent down and it's running away because it can't shoot up. Get home, buddy. Get home.
Why are you running?
How can he escape?
Why are you running? Stalker's like, where's that fucking Marauder? Come here.
Look at his legs go. Oh no, this thing ran out.
Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah, literally any damage right now for Patience is going to be incredible. Huh.
Is Patience trying to convert the building? What is happening?
You know, I don't think I've ever seen this before. Let's see what happens.
Nope.
Literally nothing.
Oh, god damn it. Alright. Oh my god. And you know what that means?
Kuro, come here and do the Spanish intro.
That means Kuro needs to jump in. Yeah.
Alright, I'll go back to watching Frozen.
You watching Frozen again?
No, I was just kidding.
Oh my god. Krop.
I am not doing Spanish.
You are doing the Spanish intro.
Milk,
It's your fault.
Spanish.
You got played into it. Alright.
I did like 3 times. I did it like 3 times. This is your turn. I'm not doing a Spanish intro.
I don't control it, okay? The people control it. Alright? It's not my fault that you just happen to activate Vortex's trap card. Alright? You played into his hands. He looked at you dead in the eye. He's like, oh yeah? Spanish intro, huh? Look what I got right here.
Curry's got you there. It's your fault, really. Like,
It's
You know what
boring.
you know what
I
that
do it,
means?
like, every time I
you just need
cast.
more people to you just need more people to contribute before someone gets 16k. I'm just saying.
oh god, you know what, Curry, he's not wrong. Like, you're the one who spent the points on the Spanish intro. You should have waited for
Okay,
Vortex. You should have waited.
listen.
You should have waited.
Now you say that, but when you and the other cast, you're like, no, we're gonna do it for the finals. We can wait. But when I can, suddenly the rules change.
5 minutes later.
Attack the wings, so he was forced to look at it, and he throws out the spores. Oh no, he's not surrounding it properly.
Oh no, this is gonna get sniped.
That's it.
GG, just like that. GG, I'm done. I'm out. Bye.
Not like this. Oh god. F's in the
5
chat.
minutes, 40 seconds.
GG.
There you go, Vortex. That's what you get.
I bet the Spanish
Yeah.
intro would have been longer than the game. Let's be honest.
It would have.
It would be. But also, I don't think it's, I can do the Spanish intro every cast. Come on.
That's what he wants. That's what the chat
But-
wants.
Yeah, you know what?
But it's
That's
boring because I say the same things.
bring her out.
If I'm getting a crew, please, again, and you somehow make me into making the Spanish intro, Milk is casting with me.
No, yeah,
Okay, we
yeah.
have
I'll do
to
that.
take Milk down with
That's
this.
fine. That's fine. You know what? Hold on. I wanted to do something. Oh my god, look at what happened in the light VIP.
Oh, what? Dang.
Light VIP redeemed the crew, please. What happened?
How can you do her dirty like that? What's wrong with you?
I literally pressed exit game as I saw it in the chat.
Oh my god. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals, the grand finales of ESL Open Cup Asia number 201. We have our results coming in. We have confirmed what kind of TVT we're gonna be having here in the grand finals. Byeon did take down Gumiho 2-1, and now we have our best of 5 before us. It is gonna be Byeon versus Kyor. Here we go. If you're in the chat, one momento, predictions. I need a moment to set the predictions up for this best of 5, and they will be open. So place your bets in the chat for how you think this is going to turn out. Who is going to be this week's champion? Is it going to be this player here in the bottom right hand corner of side Delta representing Shopify Rebellion? It is Byeon. And spawning in the top left, we have his opponent. We have another contender for that #1 spot representing Team Liquid. It is Kyor. Oh, we're proxying. Here we go. Just need a moment to set things up here. But here we go. We're going to be starting with a bit of a proxy. So Kyor going for a Rax across the map. I believe he's going to be throwing down a Rax back at home as well. So a 2 Rax opener, a pseudo 2 Rax here from Kyor. Pseudo 2 Rax from Kyor. So quite aggressive in nature. Again, not completely all in though, not fully committed. And we'll see what he can get done here. We'll see what kind of magic he can work. As I'm curious, we have taken both gas geysers. We're going for, yeah, not a Rax back at home. We're going for a Proxy Marauder. Now this I'm unfamiliar with. I haven't seen this too often in TVT. I haven't seen this too often at all. As Byeon is going for an economic opener, Rax expand, delayed factory here from Byeon, and the Marauders are on the way. Concussive shell in production. Kyor, let's go. The factory is back at home. So again, we are just going to be transitioning out of this eventually, but we're going to be banking up some of these Marauders. The goal here to bust into that natural base, delay the CC. Do we have enough firepower to even force a cancel? Or, I mean, boys are going to be pulled. Economic damage is going to be done. Regardless of what occurs, economic damage will be done here. And we'll see how this does turn out. As we do have a second Marauder on the way. SCV is going to be here to tank some shots as well. And here we go, we're pulling the trigger. Concussive shell is done. And can we delay, or how long can we delay the CC? As a bunker is thrown down, we get on top of the SCV, and the first SCV is going to fall. Bunker is on the way, and with the completion of this bunker, then we could try to force a cancel, but here we go, the boys are here. The boys have been pulled. SCV goes down, the bunker will not finish. The second worker will go down. A good KGA charge, that's going to be a cancel on the bunker. Good target firing here on the Marines, only 1 Marine left. Only 1 Marine. And this is getting out of hand. This is becoming a little bit too much. Cyclone is in production, but even if it comes out, Marauders, they can have their way with the Cyclone. CC does complete that. 7 worker kills already. Byeon working on his own expansion on location. We're waiting for reinforcements. Another Hellion is on the way. Kyor busting up the ramp. He will get a couple of those Marines. He wants that Cyclone. He wants it. And so far he doesn't get it, but he's going to get even more SCVs. Losing a Marauder. Gets 2 more. He has high ground vision. That is no more Marauders in production. With that high ground, he gets another depot. Ay, ay, ay. Kyor, he's achieved so much with this, even delaying the starport. And he gets on top of the Cyclone. 1 goes down. Can he get the other? Barely. He should not. The kiting is too good, but losing a Cyclone was brutal, and Kyor is running away with this. As the dust settles, Kyor, he's up 10 workers. He's getting his CC on location. Throwing down the 3rd CC right after. So greedy. Oh my god. His natural isn't even done. Throws down the 3rd CC. Getting into his 1-1-1. And we do see Bjorn eventually trying to regain control of his own main base. Even here in Cyclones, we have medevacs to help micro and help juggle, of course. And Curie backs the hell off. He does retreat. He does finally give Bjorn some breathing room. And Bjorn can expand back at home. The dust is settling, and yeah, Curie is able to enjoy his worker lead. Getting into his Liberator production as well. Continuing those Cyclones just to be safe, just to be secure. And the pressure is now on Bjorn. The pressure is on to get damage done. He does have a medevac. He can try to go for a drop. A drop is going to be difficult to pull off though, as Cure is lying in wait back at home. Here we go, Liberator is moving out. Unfortunately for Bjorn, Cure isn't pushing. Like, if he was being active on the map, then this Liberator has a lot of potential. It still does, technically, but Cure, he has plenty of anti-air back at home with these Cyclones, with a couple of Marines in production as well. The game is settling. Interference Matrix, Ravens are on the way. Cure getting into a bio-tank army, bio-tank army. Third CC is done, which is muling, making 3 workers at a time. We can soon take the third base. And Bjorn is pushing, hoping to distract the army with his Cyclones and coming from behind with the Liberator. Looking at the units tab, Bjorn is ahead in Cyclones. And we're faking a drop. Drop, scouts across the map, gets eyes on the third CC, and Bjorn turns around. Oh my god. Cure. Bjorn does turn around for a moment. Does second guess his push. Is being threatened by a drop, and yeah, he comes back home. Meanwhile, Cure, he's building up his tank counts. Again, still not landing his third CC yet, but has been reaping the rewards. Has been happily muling. That drop still threatening the main base as well. Bjorn, he's looking for it. He's looking for the medevac. Has been revealed. Bjorn looking to intercept. Oh! And he will shut it down. That is 1 medevac for free. In a way for free, because Cure got a lot out of that. He did force Bjorn to back off. Did give himself enough time to build up his tank count. And now Cure is secure. He can afford to lose a medevac. That's fine. It does get eyes on the lid. They do pass by each other. Cure even getting ready for a drop here into his main. It looks like he didn't see the Liberator himself, otherwise we would see these Vikings rotate over and deal with it. And Bjorn is now taking his third. Again, Cure, he's ahead economically, and that is reflected in the supplies. Catching the army, gets a medevac. We'll be trading Cyclone for Cyclone. But overall, Bjorn is being forced back. Forcing out a stim as well, losing another one of those Cyclones. Oh, another 2 go down. We're taking this back home. GG is going to get called. Bjorn knows he cannot stop the army. And Cure will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Cure does take a lead here. Again, off of a wild opener, going for a proxy marauder. Like, there's so much that lined up for Cure. Not the fact that he went for the proxy marauder. I mean, proxy marauder was one thing, but on top of that, the fact that Bjorn happened to be going for a Rax Expand CC on the low ground, happened to be going for an economic opener, which is why Bjorn had so little to deal with that army, so little to deal with those initial marauders. SCVs were going down left and right. I think it was 10 SCV kills in total. Cyclones, Marines, delay on the CC, just everything went right for Cure at the start of that game, and he snowballed out of control. Bjorn was playing from behind, did stumble out the gate, and that's a solid game 1 there for Cure, but that was game 1 in a best of 5. Plenty more to come. Plenty more here on the horizon. And here we go. We're loading into game 2 on Solaris. Also, I have to close the window. Here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of Solaris. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Byeon. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player as well, representing Team Liquid. His new team. It is Cure. And the proxies are coming out from both players. We have two SCVs moving out for Byeon for proxy 2 racks. At the same time, Cure going out once again for a proxy racks of his own. Okay. Who do I favor here? Byeon is going to hit first. Byeon is going to hit first. He's going to hit hard here with a proxy 2 racks in the natural base of Cure. Meanwhile, Cure with 1 racks across the map, with only 1 gas being taken here as well. This is gonna be brutal here. Cure has nothing back at home. He has no production back at home. That is a scary thing. Sure, he has a Rex. He can threaten across the map, but his main base is gonna be so vulnerable, and Byeon, he will just be ahead in army supply. He's just gonna be ahead in Reapers. Double gas. It looks like maybe another proxy marauder here from Cure. It's reading like the same build, and I think this is a hard counter. Yeah, it's proxy marauder. This is going to take too long. Byeon is going to be hitting first with Reapers. There's nothing to defend, and I think it's... I don't like to say build order win too often, but I think this is a build order win for Byeon. I could be crazy. SCV comes in, confirms the Rax is missing. It's being proxied, and this does not bode well. We have 1 Marauder on the way, and there's only SCVs. Like, if Byeon has good control, and we're talking about Byeon, of course he's going to have good control. He should not lose these Reapers, and he should just wreak havoc in the main base. Factory's on the way. I love that the factory is behind the mineral line. Very safe factory. We need units sooner rather than later. First Marauder's pushing out. Things are going to get chaotic. Things are going to get real weird. But I do believe that this Marauder is more prone to being surrounded. And here we go. The Reapers, they dive in. They're going for the mineral line. Again, with good kiting, with good control, Byeon should not get surrounded. Likewise, Marauder and SCV diving into the main base as well. SCVs are going down for both players. But again, like, this Marauder is going to get surrounded. It's going to take a lot of damage. That's now 3 Reapers getting into the mineral line. SCVs are falling. Hellion is on the way. Hellion is in production. But that's so many dead SCVs. At the same time, dead SCVs for his opponent, for Byeon. And even with 1 Hellion, is it going to be enough? God, there's just so much DPS here. So many SCVs are falling. That's going to be 17, 19, 20. 20 SCVs. We're still muling. We still have an economy. Byeon, if he wanted to, he could turn back around and deal with this. He's going for the kill. We have 1 Hellion biding its time. We get 1 more mule. There's no economy left. Byeon is down to 6 SCVs. Byeon, he finds the Hellion, he shuts it down. Okay. So we're going to be trading bases. So Byeon is trying to mine as much as he can. He's trying to get as much as he can out of these SCVs. And now we're floating. Now, no one can shoot up. No one can shoot up, but both players, they save their orbitals, which means we can mule. We can still mule because we mined a little bit of extra minerals and gas. Byeon, he makes another extra wave of Reapers. And we have 8 Reapers versus 4 Marauders. And these Marauders are weakened because of the SCVs. With good control, again, Byeon, he should be able to come out on top. He's going to be diving on top of this army. Up! And already 1 Marauder goes down, a second, a third. GG gets called, and Byeon will take game number 2. GG. GG, well played. Again, as long as the control was on point for Byeon, was a build order win there. Going for the proxy 2 racks against a proxy Marauder of all things. Byeon, he annihilated the mineral line. He was able to mine more for longer as well, so he was able to just amass a large enough Reaper army and snowball out of control. Eventually clean up all those Marauders. GG, well played. we are getting into game 3. And I doubt we're going to be seeing any more Proxy Marauder out of Cure. We saw it work once. It was good. It worked well. You know, when the stars aligned, when it was a Rax expand. But against a Proxy, we can see that it's yeah, does fall a little bit on its face. Here we go. Here we go, as we're getting into our next game. Getting into game number 3, going to be on Hard Lead. Vámonos. And so far, we've had some really fast games. We haven't really been able to sink our teeth into this TVT yet. It's been over before it really begins. And will that change? I'm ready for it. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hard Lead, we have... Ooh. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion, tying up the series 1-1 in the last game. It is Byun. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Here we go. So, again, Cure just being a little bit cheeky, going for the Proxy Marauder 2 games in a row. He was completely shut down. Very unfortunate that he just happened to be going for that in that second game. To do it 2 games in a row after it first succeeds, that was a very greedy move out of Cure, very bold. Was punished, and again, we shouldn't really be seeing that opener anymore here, at least until maybe later on in the series. So we're going to be having a much more standard start here. We have double gas out of Cure, double gas out of Byun. So yeah, very aggressive, or quote-unquote safe and tech-heavy openers. Basically, with this, we're going to be delaying the expansion and going for a faster factory for both players. So delayed expansion, faster tech here from both Byun and Cure. We are on Hard Lead. Hard Lead has a very short rush distance by ground. You can be hyper aggressive on this map. You can be constantly in the face of your opponent. And that's what I'm expecting out of these two here in this game. That is factories on the way for Byun. Factory also on the way for Cure. And we are mirroring each other. Byun hasn't gone for an SCV scout, so technically, if we want to get into the nitty-gritty, Byun is slightly ahead. Because Byun hasn't wasted any resources by going for an SCV scout, he has slightly better mining, slightly better money, does mean a slightly faster CC. As Cure is coming back home with his own SCV. There it is, CC on location. By 1 second, slightly faster compared to the CC of Cure. But outside of that, again, nothing to really distinguishing these two players. So far, same thing. I guess the downside is that Byun isn't fully aware of what Cure is up to. He's in the dark. Reapers are going to be missing each other, actually. Uh-oh. This could get a little bit rowdy. Cyclone still a couple seconds away from coming out. Cure goes into the main. Byun pushing towards that natural. SCVs are going to be going down. Oh my god, we even delay that starport. 3 SCVs. Byun hurting here in the economy, and alas, the Cyclone comes out just in time. Byun cannot deal any damage across the map. He will get gets one worker. Sips into the main. Gets 2 SCVs in total. Delays the CC. That's actually pretty important. And Byun is going to be able to finish up his own. So Byun loses 1 extra SCV, but he does delay the expansion, so not a bad moment here for him. And the game will settle. Again, nothing too major here. Like a couple of trades here and there, but for the most part, they're still keeping up with each other, getting into their 1-1-1 openers. And this is where we start to see some deviation. Finally, some deviation. Medevac. Curie's going for a drop. He's going to be pushing out with his mass Cyclone army. Meanwhile, back at home, Byun is going for an add-on swap instead and going for Banshees. This should be 1 singular Banshee, then we get into Raven production. This is very common and very popular amongst both Byun and Maru. They're very fond of going for this 1 Banshee in TVT. Reason for this, you don't overcommit, you don't get cloak. This one Banshee can actually do a surprising amount of damage, especially in the middle of a fight across the map. Meanwhile, here comes that Cyclone drop. We're keeping most of the Cyclones back at home. Just 2 Cyclones in the main. We're going to get a couple of workers before being forced out. And there it is. 1 Banshee into Raven. Now, the downside to this is that because we've invested into the Banshee, Cure will be getting into faster interference matrix. Beyond may not, but he may just skip it entirely. He may just skip interference matrix. He is known to not really enjoy it. In TVT, often he goes Raven without the upgrade, just for auto turrets and anti-armor missiles. Oh, but there it is. It's on the way. It is delayed, but on the way nonetheless. So he will have a little bit of extra complexity with the army. As the drop comes in, and yo, we want the Raven! Oh my god. Getting a couple of hits in. Yun is moving out. Cyclones move in. Oh, we're getting quite a lot of SCVs. 1 Cyclone will fall up. Drop barely makes it out. And back at home, what kind of position do we have? We have a couple of Ravens. We have 5 Cyclones. 5 and 5. We get the lock on. The Raven goes down. A big loss there for Bjorn. Overextending. A bit of miscontrol. And Bjorn is forced back. Uh-oh. Okay. As we do try to catch the Cyclones, unsuccessful though. Behind this, we go for the Banshee across the map. Does get shot down, gets 2 SCVs before falling. Banshee this time not quite worth it. Did get eyes on the fast third TC. Beyond zone third, a little bit behind that of Cure. And as the dust settles, I need to give the edge to Cure. Cure, he has a faster third, and he's also up in Ravens. Again, Beyond losing a Raven was huge. He's making a 3rd Raven behind this. As Cure is going out once again with another Cyclone drop. At the same time, Beyond getting ready for his own Raven harass. They're getting into a Biotank army. God, that's a lot of Cyclones. We're up to 9 Cyclones here for Beyond. By the time we move out, we may have 1 tank. We have tank production underway here for Cure. Getting out of Cyclones. Likewise, so is Beyond. Getting into tank production. Here we go. Cure going for a drop into the main base. We don't have much to defend. And that is going to trigger Beyond. Here we go. SCVs are going down. A Raven auto turret harass. Wreaking havoc in the main base. And now we're pushing in. We're looking to overwhelm the army. Auto turrets are thrown down, and Cure is going to be able to buy some time. A lot of SCVs going down across the map. 14. That double drop of Cyclones just went to town on that mineral line. Beyond plummeting in his economy, plummeting in worker counts. 1 Cyclone survived as well. That was 1 Cyclone for 14 SCVs, and thanks to those auto turrets, thanks to the tank as well, Cure is safe. Cure, he holds onto his natural. Bjorn finds no damage. And Bjorn is in a lot of trouble. He's forced to come back home, which means he cannot delay the 3rd base. Cure he can land without any issue. And that Cyclone still isn't done. It should be though. Yeah, we're forced it back. Do force it back, but here we go. Cure snowballing out of control. Looking at the supplies here. Cure, he's up in tanks, he's up in Ravens. Down in Cyclones, but the tanks are what's important. And Cure, he's getting in position to deny this 3rd base. And the tank does siege. Yeah, good volleys off, and the 3rd CC is under threat, and we may even kill it. No! That's going to be a kill in the 3rd base. Even supply blocking Bjorn. 1-1 is finishing up, and Bjorn, it's all or nothing for him. He has to commit. He's pushing in. Big disable here on the tank. Auto turrets are thrown down. The Raven goes down. And Cure, he will take this fight. GG gets called. Cure taking a 2-1 lead in the finals. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Cure looking strong in this game, constantly harassing and doing well across the map, keeping up with Beyond at every turn. That was impressive. GG, well played, and even causing some mistakes out of Beyond. We saw a couple of overextensions here and there. Beyond losing some Ravens, losing some Cyclones. Cure was just all over him. And now Cure is one game away from winning it all. From taking this series and becoming this week's champion. Beyond, he needs to fight back here and now. He needs to fight back here and now to force the ace match. Can he do it? Can he pull it off? What is this? Spam this Joker to help run Cure over. You're an animal. You're an animal. I mean, personally, I hope that we do get an ace match. I hope that Beyond is able to fight back here and force a game 5. I just want as much as I can out of these players. That's all I want. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hecate, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. Oh, down in the series, he needs to fight back here and now to force the ace match. It is Beyond. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid. One game away from becoming this week's champion. It is Cure. There we go. And as we get into Hecate, it is a more macro-oriented map. We're going to be calming things down, and we have a Rax expand set up here from... Oh, no, never mind. Beyond is going for double gas opener, so is Cure. Once again, really safe play. No one is taking a risk on being too economic. No one is taking that chance. Especially if one player proxies the other. Especially after what happened in game 1. Does explain a lot. So we have our Raxes back at home. Cure going for a scout across the map. Trying to get a read on what exactly is going on. Beyond is just setting himself up for it. And this can lead in a couple of different directions, of course. 1-1-1 can lead into additional Cyclones early on, into Raven production, as we saw before. Beyond last game did invest into that early Banshee, had a lot of potential but only killed 2 SCVs if you remember, so that also set Beyond behind. Not just that, but winding it back, remember he also lost early Ravens, early Cyclones. Beyond, he does need to tighten things up here if he wants to take it to Cure. Beyond taking a chance. Moving out with his first Reaper. He's gonna get, he's gonna be shot in the face. We do hit first. Oh, KDA charge. Oh my god, Cure, he is gonna lose his first Reaper. Big loss there for Cure. Beyond getting across the map, forcing the CC on the high ground. That was a really risky maneuver. That should not have gone Beyond's way. And just like that, he gets into the main base. Delaying the CC, looking for an SCV kill. He will not get one. Hellion comes out just in time. But that was a nice win here for Beyond. It's always really risky moving out with your first Reaper. You don't know if your opponent went Reactor first into double Reaper production. Hellion moves out, Beyond shoots first. Cure has to back off. So a nice little win in the early game. This means that Beyond will have a better economy earlier. CC's about to finish up. CC's still on the way for Cure. Has to float over to the natural. Beyond looking to catch some units out on the map. Cure rotating around, bypassing the army, going for the main base, but a Cyclone is in position. Oof. And the Reapers are shut down. Yeah, Cure, he's just not finding anything here. Ah, he's gonna get an SCV. Gets one. He's gonna try to evacuate, he's gonna try to escape, but does get shut down as well. Beyond likewise, slipping into the main base, gets one SCV as well. Getting a full scout. Getting eyes on the 1-1-1. And we are going for some different forms of aggression. Let's go. We do have a double Cyclone drop once again from Cure moving out. We've seen it do so much damage before. Meanwhile, Beyond moving out with a Cyclone and some Marines as well. Well, the drops, they will miss each other.
Are under attack.
They do miss each other. And because the Marines are moving out, there's that much less to defend back at home. Cyclones, they take control of the natural at the same time. Beyond going towards the natural here of Cure with a tank. Tank drop has arrived. We deny mining at the natural base. Likewise, so is Cure. Boys are being pulled. We have one tank to defend. Medevac goes down. And Beyond is just getting further and further ahead. He's still mining on 2 bases. Cure is contained to 1. Yeah, this tank drop from Beyond getting out of control. Takes down a deeper. Supply blocks Cure. Oh my god. The power of this auto turret. We should be able to deal with this. Oh! Barely. You take down the tank. It was a costly trade. But Cure can finally mine from his natural. Third CC on the way. Beyond just looking to get further and further ahead. And Beyond, he doesn't have to assert himself. He has to just calm things down. Getting into additional tanks, getting into his third base. He can just maintain his lead here. He can chill. He's up 10 workers. The pressure is on Cure instead to get damage done. We even have the Viking patrolling in position to deny a drop. Speaking of, drop is on the way. Just at every turn here, Beyond, he's just been harassing and abusing Cure from the beginning of the game. Drop is coming in. We have a tank, we have Marines. Yeah, we can't do any damage. Oh, we're going for the tank though. Not quite. If there wasn't a tank on the low ground, we can probably just get on top of this, on top of the tank and shut it down. Last, not quite able to. Liberator harassing the main base, denying so much mining time as well. Ay, ay, ay. Gets an SCV. Here we go. Cure is pushing. I believe he saw the timing on the third. No, he didn't see the third base. He is moving out regardless. And he has potential. You know, even though he doesn't have any tanks with this army, he has Ravens. We can disable the tanks of Beyond. And the tanks are set up. We do get one disable. We get a second as well. The goal here to break the natural base. We get one tank. We're going to get a second as well. The boys, they have to be pulled. The lock-on is broken. And Beyond holds. Beyond barely holds on. He outlasts the disable. His tanks are free. And that was a nice trade for Cure. It was a good trade. But not good enough. Oh my god. Medevac goes down. Not like this. The Ravens did race back home, very low, but they did survive. And Beyond, he can take his third base. 1-1 is on the way, the tank count getting higher. Looking at the units tab here, of course, Beyond, he's up in tanks. Down in Ravens. Secure does slip into the middle line. He's going to get a couple of SCVs. Not bad. Here we go, Beyond is pushing. And this is terrifying. Oh my god, the Marines, they take down both Cyclones. What do we have at home to defend? We have one tank, we have Ravens, and they do have disables available. They have one each. Very important to take note of. which means Cure can win a fight. There we go. We got 1 to save. We get 2 as well. Is it enough? It looks like it barely is. And Cure diving on the tank on the low ground. Reinforcements are on the way, but he doesn't get the tank. Bjorn, he maintains his position. The Ravens are out of energy. And Bjorn can keep on pushing. Oh no, he's within range. No. Barely gets the tank. Gets 2 tanks. Oh my god. Cure. He's popping off. The Raven. Bjorn is attempting to reposition within range of the gases as well. And Marines, they do take control of the natural. We have plenty of Marines available here for Cure as well. 1-1 just finishing up. Tense moments. The repairs are on point. The Ravens are ready to go in again. They are ready. We have disables. We do just barely 1 disable. We dive on top of the army. We dive on top of the tanks, and Cure cleans this up. Every single tank will go down. The comeback. The comeback is real. Cure still behind in workers, but now ahead in tanks. As he moves out, Bjorn is coming in from behind. Can he achieve much though as Cure is pushing, and this third base from Bjorn is actually looking quite exposed. The sensor tower is about to finish up, but a little bit too late. The tanks defend back at home, and Cure, he dives on the CC, dives into the mineral line. Can he get the base? No, he cannot. A little bit too greedy. Trying to focus down the orbital. Goes into the main instead. There is a tank in position. And we're diving on it. The tank will go down. But we're bleeding out a lot of Marines. Cure will escape. But not bad. He gets 6 workers. He gets a tank. Breaks free. Forces Bjorn to turn back around. Bjorn is getting a 4cc on location. Cure is on the way. Cure now has map control. And Bjorn is stuck at home. Looking at the units tab, Bjorn has 1 tank. This is his only tank against the 5 of Cure. Doesn't quite get the tower. Drop is coming in though. Planetary is not done. Bjorn out of position. He doesn't see this coming in. SCVs. They're gonna go down. 10 SCVs. As we pick up, we get the hell out of there. Bjorn still has a worker lead, which is crazy after losing 10 workers. Cure is still working on his own base, on his own 4th CC, and here we go. We on siege, we're moving across map. Cure with a terrifying army. Bjorn may have the better economy, but Cure has the stronger army. Oh my god. As he threatens the dive. Keeping tabs on the forces of Bjorn. And Cure, he's just going straight for that planetary. We do have some tanks in position. Bjorn is ready for this. Show us the disables. There we go. We are within range. Tank goes down. Cure, he's just going to town here on these Marines. Another disable on that tank. Cure bleeding out some tanks though. Laying siege upon this planetary. Does scan ahead of time. Bjorn coming over with his reinforcements. Can he save this base? He's going for it. He dives in. Delayed reaction out of Cure, and he's going to be losing his tanks. He's being cleaned up. He gets completely cleaned up. Cure losing every one of his tanks, but he has another army heading towards the 3rd base. Bjorn, he's rotating over. He's aware. Can he get here in time? Sensor tower goes down. Tank as well. Boys were pulled for a moment. But it looks like Bjorn should be able to clean this up, but not without losing so many SCVs. Oh my god, 15! The boys, they went down. 16 SCVs, an entire mineral line. And has this been worth it? This has been very frantic out of Cure. Losing a medevac. Keeping the attention back home. Cure. Oh my god, still just continuing to push, actually. He does not want to allow Bjorn to breathe. Doesn't want him to settle. But Bjorn is ready for it this time. And Cure lost all of his Ravens. Oh my god, we're just going straight for the tanks. We get 2. We get the tanks. At the same time, a drop into the mineral line. SCVs are falling left and right. Bjorn is being pulled apart. He is being pulled apart. He just is having a really hard time keeping up at all. As the drop is still not cleaned up. Getting a high yield depot. And back at home, Cure is chilling. He's on 71 workers, reproducing his army, setting out reinforcements towards the planetary as well. One wrong move though, and oh, the tanks are unsieged! We get one, we get both tanks. Oh my god, big pick off here from Cure. Gets both tanks. Liberators have arrived. Cure, the load! No! Bjorn, he loads up at the wrong moment, loses his Liberators as well. And Cure is snowballing out of control. We have to commit, we have to dive on top of the tanks. At the same time, Cure, he goes for the 4th. Gets the tanks, sieges up. And he is looking to take control of this planetary. Bjorn is coming. He is rotating over, but that's a lot of tanks. And it looks like Cure doesn't have enough to protect them. It looks like everything gets cleaned up as well. A little bit wasteful here out of Cure, but he still kills so many SCVs. There's 16 workers going down. Cure, he can just reproduce. He's just remaking his army over and over again. He can afford it. Bjorn can't. Finally, Bjorn is moving out. Finally, Cure is going to have to be the one defending back at home instead. Does Bjorn have enough? Oh, we're trying to catch reinforcements. The drops! Oh my god, forcing a siege. Bjorn is going for the 5th base. Gets a lot of SCVs. As he's going to be landing his own 5th base on location as well. Has plenty back at home to defend. Cure tries to stim in, but he sees the Marines. Doesn't find any damage. Bjorn is stabilizing. Now, Bjorn has a super maxed army. He's down 20 workers, but he's up in army supply. It's a bit of a double-edged sword. It means that, of course, Bjorn can take a better fight, but if he does lose too much too quickly, he cannot reproduce. He can't rebuild his army, I should say. I've been saying reproduce a lot. Oh my god. Ay. Rebuild? Maybe I'll stick with rebuild for now. As we do see Bjorn pushing through the center. Cure getting ready for a backstab. Seeing all these hot Marines, man, I have one thing on the mind. As Bjorn moves out, we do go for that backstab, but Cure, what does he go for? He's going straight for the 3rd. The orbital is exposed. Likewise, so is the 3rd base of Cure. We're going to be trading a base for a base. And Bjorn, he's not content. He's not satisfied. He's going for a Doom Drop into the main. But Marines are waiting, no! Full medevac goes down. Oh my god, a 2nd medevac, a 3rd medevac as well. Bjorn overextending, is getting some SCVs at least. But that was a costly trade for Bjorn. And that's an orbital, that is not a planetary. Cure, he gets 1 CC, he's gonna get a 2nd as well. There's no saving it. Bjorn going for another Doom Drop, threatening a Doom Drop into the main, but we're in position. We cannot drop. Bjorn, he loses his base. He's down to 3 bases remaining, 3 CCs. Cure, he's chilling on 4. Once again, the army supplies are pretty comparable. They are comparable to each other. Bjorn can still win a fight. but he's got one fight in him. Doesn't have a bank, doesn't have resources left. Barely any minerals. As he moves out, oh, Curie's going for the production. Byun is supply blocked. Goes straight for the production instead. Cure pushing out on the right-hand side, going for the last mining base of Byun. Oh, can he get the tank? He will. Barely gets a tank. Liberator being so annoying across the map, and as Byun pushes out, Cure, he pushes in once again, finally looking to bring down this planetary, and he will. The planetary falls. Byun is down to 2 CCs, 0 mining here from Byun. No economy whatsoever. That's, yeah. Oh my god, that was the 5th base, by the way. The 5th was the main, floating over. Byun at this point completely all in. He does have the Dewdrop. He's going for the planetary. He's going to get it. Or is he? The repair is barely enough. The planetary stands strong. The drop doesn't find any damage. And Byun, he has to preserve his army here. He can't throw anything away. We gotta go. We gotta send it. But Curie's more than happy to accept the base trade. I mean, Byun has 0 mining. We go straight for the orbital. Byun going for the base trade, but Cure has the high ground. He has control of the ramp. We can't push in. GG gets called. There's no other way. And Cure takes the series 3-1, becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Asia champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Cure as he... Oh my god, as that was quite a back and forth actually. Remember, Byun, he was ahead in the early game. He was just shutting Cure down at every turn, getting so much damage done. But Byun did overextend. He overextended one too many times when he pushed out across the map into the tank line of Cure. Cure was able to take a better trade, clean up, and there was more of a back and forth going on, but Cure was able to maintain his economic lead throughout the entirety or the majority of that game. Oh, just pulling Byun apart left and right. And yeah, GG, well played. A very active style out of Cure. Usually we see the reverse. Usually we see Byun just all over the place, going for all these drops, all these move outs, repositioning, out-positioning the opponent. But the turns were tabled, and Cure was the aggressor this time. And yeah, it was really impressive. GG, well played. Byun typically has a harder time taking the role of the defender instead, and keeping up with the drop play and keeping up with the movement of his opposing player, of his opponents. And yeah, GG, well played. Congratulations to Cure. My condolences to Byun. I mean, second place is like no easy feat. He took down Gumiho to make it this far. Byun, he took down Gumiho and Classic as well. So some big names, some very big names, but did falter here in the finals. And you know, again, losing to Cure is, I mean, there's no shame in that. Cure is one of the best Terrans in the world at the moment. Arguably has the best TVP in the world, and his other matchups aren't looking too bad either. So congratulations to Cure, and we have crowned our champion for this week's ESL Asia, the first of the 200 series, I guess, the 201st edition of ESL Asia. And I'm sure both of these players will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow morning is going to be ESL Open Cup Americas, papi. Americas is right around the corner. In 12 hours. In 12 hours time, we will have the Americas edition of this tournament. I say Americas, it isn't region locked, it's just at a good time zone for the Americas region. So we get players like Trigger, Estrella. They're a little bit more active in those tournaments. I don't know if they will be this week because of ESL Masters. Because of ESL Masters, I'm sure there are some top tier players that want to like preserve their builds and just like rest and not really overexert themselves before their ESL matches, their ESL Masters matches. So I don't know how active they're going to be. I'm curious. I'm really curious as to what the turnout is going to be like here for the European and the Americas edition of these tournaments. Of course, GSL has concluded, so all the Koreans are all coming out strong. When it comes to the foreign scene, you know, they still have their own version of GSL. They still have ESL Masters that is still ongoing themselves. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the turnout, what these signups are going to be looking like. Outside of that, thank you so much everyone for watching. Thanks so much for the support. If you enjoyed this event and if you want more, this is a weekly. We've been live with this tournament for 200 editions, 201 now. Ever since 2020, the beginning of ESL Pro Tour, we've had these weekly tournaments, and yeah, if you enjoyed it, you can come back next week. Every single week, we're live on this channel with ESL Open Cup Asia. The only time we aren't live with ESL Asia is if there's something else like overlapping. If there's some kind of other event that's going on at the same time, then maybe we would cover that instead. But yeah, usually we're live here with ESL Asia. So I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time. We do have a brief reprieve from ESL Masters. ESL Masters is on hiatus for a couple of days until all the Open Cups wrap up. And then ESL Masters will continue, I believe, on Thursday. I believe starting Thursday. So yeah, there you go. Outside of that, if you want some more CranKy Duckling action, we're going to be live in a couple of hours. I did just mention it. I believe in 12 hours with ESL Open Cup Americas. We don't cast the European edition of this tournament, just because I would like to sleep at some point, and casting Asia into EU into Americas typically isn't the best idea if we want to sleep at some point. So we won't be live with Europe. Enjoy the other casters though. I believe Wardy casts Europe. I think maybe Steadfast, maybe Zombie Grubs, some of the other English casters. They got you covered with the European edition. We'll be back with the American edition. We'll be back. And again, that is in 12 hours time. Also, if you maybe won't be here for in 12 hours for the Americas edition, tomorrow in 24 hours, we're going to be live with WTL. World Team League is going to be live here on this channel. It's going to be a very special edition of WTL, just because you may be wondering, it's like, wait, WTL, isn't that over the weekend? Yes, you're not wrong. Typically, WTL is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But I'm not too sure why. This week, specifically, WTL is actually rescheduled and is going to be tomorrow. The first day of WTL is tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm not too sure why. I don't know if there's, like, maintenance going on. Oh, right, of course. Duh. WTL is tomorrow because they don't want it to clash with ESL Masters. ESL Masters comes back on Thursday, if you remember, and the finals of ESL Masters is on Sunday. And I believe we won't have WTL on Sunday, because it's going to be the finals, and you know, we want to make sure that all the players that are part of that can be free to play in that as well. So that's why WTL has been rescheduled to earlier instead, to tomorrow, to make sure that there's no conflicting schedules or anything like that. So yeah, that's the reason for it. So a shout out for WTL for accommodating, for making sure that, you know, we're not clashing with the finals, and it means that we can cast everything. We can cast it all, but cast it all. So yeah, be sure to tune in tomorrow if you're interested in World Team League. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you much for the support. And yeah, stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Also, a big shout out as well to Sync Mama. Mommy. Sync Mama in the chat for the 100 bits. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We appreciate the bits. We appreciate the support. Oh, I can't forget to pay out the predictions as well. It was 50-50. So shout out to those that did predict Cure. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for ESL Open Cup Americans. Until then, hasta luego. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Bye. Hasta luego. Hasta luego.